Who are you?
I'm you, Peter DeLuise, after the Ultra Slim Fast plan. I lost 40 pounds in 4 months.
Hello, everybody, as usual. This is episode 8. This is WINO Forever of the Deppening podcast. WINO Forever of the Deppening podcast? Doesn't really go together. Oh, well. This is the holiday episode, and we are going to join the Evergreen State Jump Street program.
It's half Kwanzaa episode, by the way, with Holly Robinson and Stephen Williams.
Exactly. We will spend some time in Saigon for this holiday season and a little bit of time with Tommy Henson's mom. I am joined by the heart and soul of the Deppening podcast, Mr. Arm. How are you, sir?
Something in the moonlight catches my eye. A shadow of a lover goes dancing by. Give a little bit of heart and soul. Your favorite song, by the way.
All right, we'll go with that.
And don't you think they beg for more? Give a chance, I need to know. A little bit of heart and soul. Might I say, I listened to some of the first installment of the Tracy Jacobs transcript. You are born to play Tracy Jacobs. It is like James Franco playing James Dean.
You enjoyed my monotone?
Yeah. Low register.
You don't have
Tracy.
a choice.
No, you were great. You were great.
You again, Mr. Feeney, being the attorney, was the highlight of that episode.
Oh, please.
And
isn't he just that his natural William Daniels, he used to be the head of the Screen Actors Guild, by the way. He's just got that affect. By the way, he's from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So he's combining like a tinge of a Brooklyn accent with like Juilliard, and it just so works in a courtroom.
Yes. Well, we are going to give this gift to our almost 500 subscribers, and if this is an introduction to the Jump Street show, 21 Jump Street, of course, Stephen J. Canal show, Patrick Hasburg. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, by the way, Patrick Hasburg.
I'm turning it over to you.
No, that's okay. You're fine. Patrick Hasburg has some great insight on this episode. In an article I dug up, I guess we'll do a sort of bon mot addendums, this and that additions to this.
Throw in some extras as we always do at the end of this.
Yeah. I mean, I found some dirt on this, and we also have oddly, I don't even understand how these somehow outtakes of this episode popped up. So I guess somebody who worked on the show released two sets of outtakes. One of them is completely deleted from the episode, and the other one's like a different take of a scene that's in there already at the dinner towards the end at the dinner table.
This episode is from the ARM collection, so this is the real music
Real deal.
As it aired, and this is the only way I recommend you watch it. So
I'm not sure they used a ton of pop music in this one. I think it was somewhat devoid of. Although the ending credits is they have "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," very depressing rendition of it. I felt anyway.
That's a depressing song anyway.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think it's more geared towards those who are without on Christmas than with. I think it's geared towards the have-nots.
Mm-hmm. This episode this is season 2, right? The Christmas episode, season 2. Am I correct?
It's on we're gonna do a full Jump Street breakdown from 1 to 100. I think it went 102 after that dumb season 5. Stephen Canal paid for season 5 out of it so he could syndicate it. Oh, that canal and his crazy producer tricks. This is the 11th episode of season 2.
Okay.
Which I think there's 13 only in season 1. You know how season 1 on a lot of shows is like a shortened season, like they're not sure if it's.
Well, they don't know what they're going to do.
They don't know what they're going to do. That one ran through the summer, and I think this did too. This came out. This actually ran on December 20th, 1987.
Okay. That is the.
And it's the 11th episode of the second season, 24th overall.
That is the height of the enamel earrings and crimped hair in the young life of Sarah. So.
Oh, this is what I think Tracy Jacobs fapped to, and she's frantically on the trying to go through her channels to find Betty Sue Palmer Depp's phone number to call her at home.
This is the baby face.
Stop at nothing.
The baby face Depp with the whole world in front of him. Every possibility was possible. So
Betty Sue probably still in Kentucky at that point. No, I'm sorry. He moved her to Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
so
to be with him.
She makes a long distance call to Canada, and Betty Sue picks up at 3:00 in the morning.
Chain smoking Pall Malls and
there's a lit cigarette in an ashtray at 3:00 in the morning.
The ash end is a good 2 inches.
With a quarter of Jack Daniels and a rock glass.
Antidepressants in the late 80s. All right. You ready to start?
Yes. I think we should let's launch. And again, this is the only holiday Christmas episode of 21 Jump Street they did in the 5 seasons. You know, a lot of shows will do a Christmas episode every year. This is really the only one they did. I guess they shot their wad on Ioki's backstory. You couldn't top it. And it's, again, we'll go into, but it's like really when people talk about the show, the people who worked on it, this episode comes up all the time as like a very unique, groundbreaking way they tried to do a Christmas episode.
There's enough Tommy Hansen in this to keep the Depp fans interested, I believe.
Yeah, he's probably the number 2 or 3 on the call. Him and Fuller.
He's very handsome in his little holiday wear. Okay, and it starts with the typical 21 Jump Street comedy act.
Oh, that's right. God. Dueling Brandos.
Yes. All right, let's get this started.
It wasn't him, Charlie. It was you.
I love the shot of the chapel in the back.
Remember that night in the garden? You come down to my dressing room. You said, "Kid, this ain't your night. We're going for the price on Wilson." You remember that?
This ain't your night. My night. I could have taken Wilson apart, Charlie.
Look at that jaw jut on Ioki.
What happens? You get the title shot outdoors in the ballpark. And what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville.
Brenda
Saki.
Saki.
My brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit. Should have took care of me just a little bit, so I wouldn't have
Here comes our star.
to take them dives for the short end money.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it.
Bravo.
I wonder if they're all cops. Go back to that group shot and just pause it if you would.
Oh gosh, let's see how good I am at this.
Is it hard?
Let's.
It's a second. It's like a second.
You get the title shot outdoors
I'll pause.
in the ballpark, and what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville.
And let's.
Go ahead. What?
Let's say that Depp goes on to become almost incestuously attached to Marlon Brando. They end up doing Don Juan DeMarco together with Faye Dunaway. He gets him to agree. He was like, Brando is so prickly and inaccessible back then. Depp somehow had the magic touch to get him out of retirement. I think Brando walked away from show business like in the early 90s. Depp had him do the fucking movie Depp directed and funded, The Brave, about the Native American Indian culture, which you haven't seen, I don't think. Right?
No, I have not. Some would say Depp today has almost become a Brando-esque character.
Yeah, we kind of feared that was that's kind of what he aspired to too.
Mm-hmm.
His
Now,
three
it's
idols.
not
Yeah.
necessarily an Island of Dr. Moreau type Brando, but what would you
He has
say?
his own island.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
And what do
done.
you think he got that idea from? Brando's the one who planted that idea in his head.
I didn't even think of that angle. You are very smart. Okay.
So Johnny, just get your own island and fuck everybody. Just go on the island, make your own rules, live your own. Sounds very Epstein. What would you do if Depp during the dueling Brandos, he ends it by going, Jews completely run Hollywood. Hollywood is completely run by Jews.
Oh.
That hadn't hit yet. The Brando anti-Semitism had not hit yet. That was
notice this generation too, they can't get through, like, every impersonation was a Brando impersonation.
Oh yeah, Taxi Driver,
Yeah.
Brando. We'll think of him as a combo. That generation, the one, I guess, before X. What would you call it? W, or I mean, it's not baby boomers. It's like somewhere copy. They all have the same pop culture references. They all have the same pop culture zeitgeist and same. There was no cable. There wasn't as much. They all like the same stuff because there wasn't as much to absorb. There was less channels. There was less.
Sorry, I was seeing if that was.
So yeah, you find them. They're all doing the same Godfather impressions. They're all doing the same.
Yeah.
And
they are.
And they think we're not tired, and they don't really realize how tired of it.
They act like they're the first.
Yep.
Okay, let me see if I can get a shot at that group shot here.
Help for me a little bit. Should have took care of me just a little bit, so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the show that money.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, that's what I am. Let's face it.
On the waterfront.
Okay, who do we got here?
What do we got? So
we have a lot of floppy-haired men. This guy in the pea green suit in the front here. I don't know these people. They can't be cops.
I think they're supposed to be that other contingent of faceless, nameless, voiceless narcs that they have zipping around the chapel while they're talking. I mean, there's like three people right next to him. You can't hear a word they're saying. Only Hanson and Penhall's dialogue is projected. Well, and they're the ones they just like they dance around when they're running into Fuller's office.
Well, they send the Jump Street folks out into high schools at this stage to do undercover work.
By the way, there's no high school in this episode at all.
Yeah, are there that many high schools in Evergreen Metropolis to send all of these people to?
Well, let me try to answer that question from you do it. Maybe you can do it here, and I'll do it where I'm from. So on Long Island, right? And as a basketball official, you get to see the proximity of everything. If I'm in a precinct, let me say, Bayport, Sayville, Connecticut, East Islip, Bellport, Patchogue. I mean, in my immediate area, there's probably 25, 30 high schools.
Jeez.
Which within the size of maybe like but there has to be trouble within those high schools.
Exactly.
For you to go in.
Major
so how many of those really have trouble? Right. You'd only go to the same ones. The trouble high schools where I am would be like Brentwood, Central Islip, Longwood, and you'd be going in repeatedly to the same schools over and over again. And what happens when there's a dry spell?
Exactly.
You just hang out.
I don't know. I don't know if they are sent out to actual police departments in Vancouver to assist, grab coffee. Well, I don't know.
As the story goes, and we'll get to this, and I guess in the pilot, Stephen Canal claims the origin of this show, and I don't know if Patrick Hasberg is in on this. He's said he was researching something for another cop show he was producing, and he sat in an LA precinct, and what appeared to be a teenage kid comes in, plops down at a desk, pulls out like a bunch of books and notebooks and plops a gun down on top of the books. And like, he's like, what the hell is that? What is going on here? What is it? 15-year-old kid? He's like, no, he's actually 22. He's an undercover cop in high school. He's like, what? And so he started to poke around about what that whole, narc thing is. And they said, yeah, we want to get at the crimes before these kids. We want to kind of nip it in the bud before these kids become adult. We want to get to the, before they blossom into full blown, super criminals.
Yeah,
almost like the Teen Titans in DC Comics.
I can only relate it back to when I was in high school in the immediate area, like in terms of my basketball league. We had like 6 high schools. Now in the big city closest to me, 15, 20 high schools, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's only one of these, and I think there's only one in whatever this stupid evergreen city they won't name, you could make a case that they'd be busy enough, and you could make a case that they'd be spread out enough. I mean, the big criticism of this show is, now I hear from whether it's the Six to Jump podcast or whoever, oh, come on, wouldn't they know? That's the kid, that kid Tom's from. Did you have friends in other schools? I didn't.
No, not really.
So they act like you're collaborating with kids in other schools all the time, and you just hung out with kids in your own, for the most part. I mean, I had a cousin in another school. I knew some of his friends, but that's about it. So I think you could get away with this if you were clever enough. They don't dot all their I's. They're not, this is such a crazy concept to try to, so they have glitches and stuff and blind spots, but I think you could, if you're clever enough and you dot your I's and you cover your own ass and you make a chart of what you've done and where you've been, you could get away with this.
Yeah.
Sometimes
wouldn't you have to, like, if you're going back to the same high school for another case, wouldn't you have to like wait 4 years before you sent the same cops in? So maybe you could get away with having.
Yeah, like once it happens, right? Well, that's exactly right. That's a great point. It's never brought up.
All right,
once you make a big bust there, you'd have to let the dust settle. All the kids that knew about this would have to graduate so you could pull it off again. Because any new kid that came in the middle of a semester, you'd be like, oh, well, he's an arc.
I think the most they do here is they comb Depp's hair in his face to make him look different, so they could send him in again to the same high school. To Depp's credit, Stephen Williams, when I play the audio of him, Depp used to fight with producers exactly that, because they want him to be Tiger Beat Boy and 16 and what are the teen magazines? Big Bop,
yes.
Bop. Oh my gosh. No, you got them. Those are the ones.
Yeah, and they have these smoldering, swarthy Greco Depp commercials, and that's how they're billing him. And they want to, just a vintage teen idol, and they want you to see his face, and they want you to see. So Depp's not interested in this, and he's saying like, no, we're undercover. We should go undercover. Put me in garb and costumes and makeup, whatever, it's disguise. Let's go. We're undercover. Why are we showing our own faces? We should be concealing ourselves as often as possible. And they didn't know how to tell him, nah, look, Johnny, I don't know how they worded it to him, but they're like, look, we're trying to attract teenage girls. It's our number one demographic, and we beat the networks every week in that demographic. We're not putting you in Swami garb to make you look like Haji from Johnny Quest.
Okay, so let's finish up with this little talent show they're doing for the holidays at the Jump Street program, and then we'll get to the story.
This is some Christmas party.
Oh, look, it's going back to one of our past episodes, and your avatar,
Yes.
Salchenko, One of the men who ripped off Johnny Depp. He's in the Santa suit here. Co-owner
I
of the
feel like
Library
dude,
Room.
400 grand,
Mm-hmm.
if not more, probably more.
God,
I
I'd
feel
love
like
to take,
doing the blowfish on my tablet right now.
yeah, 400 grand. I would love to take from Johnny Depp to cover my divorce. I would
Hey,
have.
can you hear this? Can you hear this? I can't make the sound. I tried to do the blowfish on
No.
the tablet. Okay.
You need. You just need to find a piece of glass somewhere near you.
How about this?
Refer to past episodes where you can see his avatar blowing on a piece of glass. Puffing his cheeks out against the glass. Okay. Now you get it.
Whoops. You know what was interesting?
Who was that? What, do they have a prostitute? What was that?
Yeah, some escort hired to play Mrs. Claus to serve the men at the party. It's the local police.
That was
Jump
a
Street
pro
program
dress
party.
she had on. What was that? I missed that the 1,000 times I've watched this.
Okay. I suck at rewinding.
Was it like a shot girl they hired for this?
Eggnog shot girl.
Not bad. You guys ought to take that on the road.
Watch this.
Whoops.
What is
You know what
that?
was interesting,
Yeah.
Gar, is that you do a Brando circa
She's got like a
1954.
teddy on.
Vintage on the waterfront.
Exactly. But you do a late model Brando, say 1972.
By the way,
All their Brandos are the same.
remember that thing I showed you? I think it completely coincides with this. We have the 21 Jump Street actual Christmas party.
Mm-hmm.
Him playing with Holly Robinson singing. And
You wanna add
Blowfish.
that?
Yeah, we got to definitely
Okay.
comment on that.
Put
It's
that
the
at the end of the
perfect time to do it.
episode.
We got to comment on it too.
Then we can.
It's too good. It's too good.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Wait, we're talking genius here.
Here. Bada bing. Let me
Who's
get
that
you.
guy?
Hey, Jude, I thought
Oh.
you was out of here.
She's-
How would he know that's? Okay, let me say.
Good. I know where you're going.
How would he know that's Judy? All he saw were her hands. So is this the only black female in the Jump Street program?
He felt somehow in his face. He felt that the hands were whiter on the inside
Oh,
than the outside.
First of all, look at the beautiful Holly Robinson and this poor woman in the middle here. A really
I
bad
know.
freeze frame on this poor woman compared with Holly Robinson.
And Miss doing Brandos? No way. But in 2 hours, boys, I'm headed home to Chicago for a real Christmas, where there's snow on the ground. And the storefronts on Michigan Avenue are all decorated. And you have a roaring fire in the fireplace.
Good place for it. Jack.
And you can't get to sleep
Well,
the night
how
before.
this show got completely, because you get away with racist stuff all through, especially the early '80s, and Archie Bunker and all. He goes, Jude, I recognize those ashy hands anywhere.
Oh,
Jude.
no. That would be acceptable in '87. So
In 1978, that would be.
I'd say even '87.
Christmas,
Like
and you
Nick
wake up
Apollo and Patrice O'Neill.
Oh,
Christmas morning and you
Thinking, how am I going to return all these gifts?
Ken Hall.
Hey, I'm a sentimental guy. What can I say? Speaking
See that
of
look
which,
Depp's got there?
mm-hmm.
That's trademark season 2 Depp. That bomber jacket.
Mm-hmm.
That's his go-to look. He probably has it in half the episodes, especially the AIDS episode.
That's all right. It's probably
'Cause
size
when
small.
you're dealing with AIDS, you got to wear a bomber jacket.
Exactly. The only way you
I
can
don't know a
fight
lot
it.
about AIDS, but I do know. I don't know a lot about AIDS, but I do know a lot about bomber jackets.
Oh.
Are you coming with?
By the way, one of the greatest more you know moments ever from the 80s.
I
Johnny
know,
Depp.
I know,
I may not know a lot about AIDS, but
but I know a lot about Saigon.
Or not?
I so wanted to know what the hors d'oeuvres were here. For my whole life. Oh, look at the background. The philanthropic Jump Street Chapel Toys for Tots.
mm-hmm.
Could be tits.
No.
Holly and her
Okay.
34 A's.
Paradise, $800, and all the single women you can meet.
Well, that's it. I'm out of here. Merry Christmas, Douglas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, by the
That's an
way,
open
stop that for a
mouth.
minute.
Open mouth on Ioki for that kiss.
This Holly wants her MSG.
She. Go ahead.
No. That all you female Tommy Hansenophiles, couldn't
Myself.
deal with him having a girlfriend.
Myself.
Right. Couldn't deal with him having a girlfriend, so they made him single 80-something% of the series. But did you catch the glitch there? I've never caught this.
No, what?
Penhall goes, he's giving him a skiing brochure, so I guess Penhall is going skiing, and he goes, "You coming with? You coming with?" So he's basically telling him that Hansen's going out with Amy Pearson during this time.
Yep.
She goes to meet his mom, and they're together. Penhall's trying to facilitate him cheating on Amy here.
That's not the first time or the last time.
But it's so glossed over, and we just accept it.
Mm-hmm. That's all right, because all the girls watching this, in the back of their mind, they wanted him to cheat with them.
I wonder if that's what the intention was. And Penhall said, it's so blatant too. He goes, "And all the single women we can meet."
Mm-hmm. Was he going to say eat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross. Okay.
No, F.
I'm sure.
So?
I already told you, I'm gonna hang in town. I'm going to my mom's and I'm gonna trim the tree.
Interesting. You gonna bring Amy to meet your mom?
Yeah, I think so.
That he brings her up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry I'm gonna miss it.
Watch this! Watch this!
No. There you go.
Hey, what about you, Captain? You going back east?
Nah, I'm gonna spend a traditional Christmas watching college football players kick the hell out of each other in meaningless bowl games.
Put down a bet for me. There's no way I'll be able to watch. I got the in-laws coming. Hey, maybe I can come to your mom's house, too.
Is that a mom joke? Uh-oh. Grim Reaper.
That's me.
I'm HT Ioki.
I'm Miller.
I like that. I like that, Penhall. I like that. By the way, very prophetic comment by Captain Fuller there. He goes, "I'm going to watch college football players kick the hell out of each other in some meaningless bowl games." Yes.
That's what they are. Captain
Fuller, bowl games are meaningless. College football has no playoff system. I have been speaking that speak and delivering that message for years. That's why I don't watch college football. They have a weird half-baked playoff system now, but it's too late. It ships
This is
sail.
the episode you got that from, that you stole it from.
I remember thinking, God, Fuller, we were on the same page. That's why I don't watch college football. They have no playoff system.
Mm-hmm.
Immigration and naturalization.
Uh-oh.
I realize this is a bad time, but we're gonna have to ask you to accompany us downtown.
Oh, better pack your bags, Ioki, just straight to Tokyo from there.
Wanna tell us what's going on? Merry Christmas, Captain.
They have no problem making little subtle Asian jokes all through the episode. They hit him with little grenades, little rice bombs here and there, and he takes it pretty well.
I'm surprised they didn't have a gong sound effect in the background.
Oh, they do. If we go into, they might even do it here. Whenever Ioki is, my cousin Anton was the first one to point this out to me while we were watching it in the late 80s. I think we slept over, and he goes, what the? He's the first one, even though you should know. Every time Ioki had a solo scene, he would point out and it would go, or just the subtle gong or a variation of. He's like, why do they play that Asian music every time Ioki's on screen? And holy shit, you're right. From that point on, he was spot on. Every time Ioki graced the screen.
And it's something that you just accepted at the time.
Yeah. Oh,
it was
never
normal.
questioned it.
They would never do that today. Probably, rightfully so.
You have reason to believe HT Ioki is an alias.
What are you, nuts?
And that this gentleman may have entered the country illegally and committed fraud in applying to the department.
Whoa, wait a second. He's not HT Ioki.
Why is Fuller letting Penhall orchestrate the exposition here?
I know
Why
exactly.
is the captain? Why is the man, the boss in charge, not taking over? And he will, but I'm saying they're letting Penhall do all the exposition, which is just bizarre, which would never happen in any, especially in police procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the makeup he's wearing.
I know.
You're not Harry Ioki.
Asians don't age in. He doesn't need it.
No. I'm not.
Vin Van Tran,
Oh,
VVT.
okay. I forgot that this theme was going to play. The greatest theme of all time is about to begin. A young Sarah running around her bedroom while this played on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock, 7:05, with a plastic gun in her hand, pretending she was a cop, and she was Tommy Henson's girlfriend. All right.
I'm trying to remember if the Fox version, if they went to a commercial after the credits
I don't think
and then
so.
came back. I think they did. I think they came
think
back. Yeah, I think they came back and then the episode title came on.
They could.
You're not going to know from the DVD from this version because it's all melded together, but
That's true. And this is the good version. This is season 2, so it's not that
they still
horrible
like
season
kids
1.
are obsessed with graffiti, and that's why they do it that.
Mhm.
I love the Vancouver subway system. Fuller's really good, and Steve Williams is really good in that episode. That's when he meets his mom's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Hi, Bob. That's season 1. That's a good move by Penhall. That's the Blair Underwood, right?
Mhm.
That's the episode. That's the Guns in School. Very prophetic episode, that one. Holly Robinson responded to my tweet about that episode.
How long ago?
This is like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I said
remember that.
there was a school shooting. It was one of the horrible school shootings, and there's been like 50 of them in the last 2-3 years. And I said, I immediately connected to that episode. I go, 21 Jump Street, blah, 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 years ahead of its time, with Guns in School. And she goes, and she wrote something back like, yep, we're ahead of all these issues.
Mhm.
That's the same. They love that episode. That Guns in the School episode comprises like 50% of the credits, opening credits. See that Gwen? It is such a that Vietnamese name, like it's the Smith or Jones of Vietnam. Gwen. Nguy. That's his mom, Dorothy Park. See that guy, Keon Young? I'm sorry, Marsha Rod is his mom. Mindy Cohen. You take the good, you take the bad.
We have this problem. He is not
Is Tootie
Big
in this
Nat.
episode?
H.T. Ioki.
No, it's Big Nat.
Oh, okay.
Because the computer says H.T. Ioki is deceased.
I remember that. They even paid him some death benefits.
I know nothing about interior design and shit. What is the thing behind Fuller? What is
Those are glass blocks. It's a very late 80s, early 90s thing. It's very.
Is it so you can see outside and they can't see in, or
No, you can't, because you can't.
it's got
see
no
out.
practical use?
Nope. It's just like a light. I think they looked at it. It's very 80s, but it's just like a form of light. I don't know.
The
But
only reason I ask is
Mhm.
because it's in they use this set in many, many episodes, and it's I guess it's the downtown, I don't know, police administration building.
It reminds me all the time of Kelly Taylor's house in Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh God, there's a 902 on it.
They had like 10 walls of nothing but those glass blocks.
Wouldn't you?
I can't remember that.
Turns out the computer is right. H.T. Ioki is dead.
Brian Silver watching it get changed.
Been dead for the last 20 years.
20 years?
Brian Silver.
A few months ago, the department tied into the new Social Security mainframe in Washington. It did a routine confirmation of Social
Mainframe.
Security numbers. Look for missed digits like that. Guess who turned up deceased?
H.T. Ioki. Died December 14th, 1967, San Francisco. Then who is he?
They make.
I don't know.
Remember that date. died 1967.
Okay.
Because this is them. One thing they don't like to do on the show, they every now and again it's not as bad as the setting. There's nothing as bad as them not wanting to reveal where they are in America, where the show is shot, set. That'll never happen. But the ages of the characters, even though they're in their early 20s, they give away Aoki's age here. I was trying to do the math last time I watched this, and he's easily, according to their ages on the show, not so much. Dustin Nguyen's the oldest in real life too, amongst the undercover cops.
Mm-hmm.
Not Fuller. I'm not including Stephen Williams, but Dustin Nguyen's the oldest among Depp, DeLuise, Holly Robinson, Grieco, by a year. He's a year older than Depp. But in this, I think, he's easily I think they have him born in 1960 or 61 or something.
So he's almost 30.
He's almost 30, right, going into high schools.
Okay.
But they don't reveal ages a lot on this.
Well, just like 90210, they're almost 30 and they're in high school.
Fuller never says his age.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Hansen says he's 23. As one episode, I think it's the religious episode where the book burning episode,
mm-hmm.
and he screams at the father, goes, "I'm 23 years old," and then when he outs himself as a cop.
Okay.
Tell me. Says he wants to talk to you first.
Okay. Who the hell are you? All right, Harry. Let's start with an easier question. Where the hell are you from?
Vietnam.
Uh-oh.
North or south?
Is he flashing back?
South.
Oh yeah,
What
big time.
Saigon.
Fuller's service. I think he served with your dad.
He could have, yeah.
Could Captain Fuller have been in the same platoon as your dad?
They could have. Yeah, he played cards.
I could see that. I could see that.
Conrad Street.
Over near the embassy?
You know that's not where it is.
I meant by the Ritz.
Closer to the Central
What'd
Market.
you do if he goes, where are you from? He goes, well, that depends. Where are we now? That's not a much. It's not important. Don't worry about where we're now. We're not anywhere. We don't have a city. Don't worry about that. Where are you from?
At the Caravel Hotel?
Not such a good neighborhood.
We did all right.
Yeah, Fuller and my dad were sprayed together with orange. The Agent Orange.
Oh my God!
In the forest.
Orange Crush.
Hey, no, well.
That's a future episode. They use the REM Orange Crush
Mm-hmm.
in that when they have to take that AWOL kid
Mm-hmm.
back to the base.
Come in.
Ooh,
He's at full-on flashback.
he's so
right
good at
now.
that. He's so good at that. He's so good at that angry yell. Stephen Williams is, make no mistake, I think he's great on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I think he deserved an Emmy.
He is the most consistent actor on this show.
Never does a bad job.
Exactly.
Even in ridiculous scenes, he makes it look convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Fuller?
Miller? Wish I could say
Miller.
it's a pleasure.
Well,
See
that's the
that
wonderful thing
shitty
about-
computer Fuller has in the background? I would have killed for something like that in
Oh, yeah.
1988, 87.
I would have just played like Oregon Trail on it constantly.
Oh, they had games like never so beyond what the video games are doing. There was an NBA game, I think, back then called I think it was just called the NBA Live or NBA Showdown, NBA Playoffs or something. Lakers
Mhm.
or Celtics, but it had the playoffs teams from 1989. So it had 16 teams, and it was the only. Sega didn't do that yet. That hadn't come out, and their version was couldn't hold as much information, and they just had a lot of really good computer games that were not available for this video game systems that I had
Mhm.
at the time, whether it was Nintendo or Sega.
Yeah, I miss games where you just have to press the space bar.
Oh yeah,
Internal affairs. No one's ever happy to see you. You ready to talk?
More or less.
Let me make this clear, Officer Ioki. Your best chance department-wise is to tell me everything right up front. The last thing you want to do is to lie to me.
this guy turns up in a few. This actor turns up, and I'm not sure he plays the same thing. I think he comes back again. Again, this show is his name's Arthur Taxier. David Miller is his name, and he turns up a few times. The show, again, one of the things I don't like about the show is they're very, and it might be a budget thing, it might be, but they're very, very disrespectful to their audience because they cast these repeated Canadian actors over and over and over again, and they're not even tactful about it. This guy might show up 3 episodes from now playing like Penhall's uncle or something.
Well, they never thought you would binge watch the show ever.
No.
So, you would have like a month in between these appearances by these actors, and most of us didn't really notice at the time.
I'm looking at him here. He's in a lot of these Canadian X-Files that was shot in again, one of Jump Street's distinctions is it was the first show ever shot in Canada.
This is David
Vancouver.
Miller.
He's in all these.
Second interview with H.T. Ioki. Captain Adam Fuller present.
He's in Melrose Place.
It's all yours, son.
Twice. He was an FBI agent. Surprise, surprise. Late shift. Oh, that music. That guy, Kim Manners, passed away like last year.
Okay.
I saw something on Facebook or something. I think Patrick Hasberg commented on it.
Okay, I think we get into his story now, right?
Yeah.
Van Tran was 14 years old in April of 1975.
Okay, there you go. 61.
Okay.
He's giving
I
his
lived in
age.
Saigon. It was 5 days for the fall of the city.
So, Sarah, like before, I told this is really his real biography.
Mm-hmm.
They changed a few things. Apparently, his real parents, do make it to the States, and that's the way they changed this. But apparently, this is like 90% Dustin Nguyen's real biography.
Okay.
And he told the story, and I was confirmed by Stephen Williams and Patrick Hasberg. I used to watch that on syndication. It's the thing you watch in the summer when you were bored. It's Channel 11, 2 in the afternoon. That song's great.
我哋跟台大算咪？
我內地腦。
冚托南，我當都樣樣區，講埋bài rất thành冇要lên，chúng mình phải quyết định này.
我唔一定要㗎，仲明快啲嘅。
Phải. Tùy vết con xe thứ đại rút dùn, tùy nó là xe trắng phóc.
Cô anh trai qua tôi thì sao? Em gái tôi và kết con.
Không được cho ai biết được.
Chúng mình con thì hỏi lại.
Thôi phải làm sao đây?
You see his dad?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch? You're a little younger than me, but you have some of the same. Did you ever watch G.I. Joe?
Of course.
You said you watched Gem. That's the same. Same production,
thing.
Same voices, same animation, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the character Storm Shadow?
Yes.
That guy did he's one of the most popular characters in that guy did the voice of Storm Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it said one of the lines went, how does it go? Revenge is a dish best served cold.
There goes the mimic.
I can't believe it.
Chúng nào việc cầm mồi vào tôi đây.
Maybe we can put that in at the end, or dub it in.
All right.
我哋啲 boy 寵問，
chúng mình xe đi về đâu?
Rồi không biết. Tôi quan trọng là rồi coi nút, rồi xe tuần sau.
Mẹ con đi.
Mẹ nói cái vậy.
Mẹ con muốn sao đi quay hơn. Mẹ à, chúng mình phải đi. Con phi về đâu. Cái đuôi của mẹ.
Guy has a great voiceover resume.
Mm-hmm.
At my age, only this is sad.
Mẹ à.
So they're trying to flee Vietnam, and they're telling he's eavesdropping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really can make Dustin Nguyen look younger. They matted his hair down. These are when you were too lazy to read the credits. I don't think I read the credits. I'm like, yeah, get back to Hanson.
That's what I was thinking at the time.
Get back to the chapel. So vapid as kids, you give no tolerance for
I
deep
was
depth.
like, where's Hanson? Is he kissing a girl?
That was the story of the show. The audience had no tolerance for non-Depp scenes or episodes, and when he's not in a Depisode, it is brutal. I bet you if they tracked the ratings during that, it was probably massive.
Oh yeah.
And they couldn't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
The first thought I had was to find my friend Tai Q, because if we were leaving,
I like the Tai
better
Q
know right away. There weren't really good.
I wonder
or
where they
bad
did this.
I don't know.
It's a pretty extensive set for this
They were
show.
all bad.
Looks convincing too.
I mean, you could live in a big house and have money, but you still live next to people with no money.
Sounds like Florida.
As a matter of fact, I wasn't supposed to leave the house.
Or New York. I live down the street from John Turturro, and there's no way we're in the same tax in Brooklyn, and there's no way we're in the same tax bracket.
I'm
Never
3
will
blocks
be.
from the governor, and I know I'm not.
Do you think
Tai
it's
Q was a
easier
great guy.
to act in Vietnamese?
Maybe.
By the way, do you think
I've never tried it.
Do you think Dustin Nguyen dreams in English or Vietnamese?
I think he dreams in VIP with Pamela Anderson.
That's a line of the episode. There's no beating that.
That's pitiful.
That's a
then.
fucking great reference.
This
By the way,
dog-
that was shot in Canada, right?
I doubt it. Well, it could have been. It could have been. Maybe Vancouver.
For those
also.
who don't know, Dustin Nguyen was the third lead on Pam Anderson's Valerie Irons Protection Agency or something.
So horrible. Ugh.
And he was the third lead on that syndicated piece of crap.
He went on Howard Stern to promote VIP.
I know. I have that video.
Is this an animatronic
Twice.
dog digging through the garbage? Because it's disturbing.
Is that what it is?
It's a dog, I think.
Okay.
My best
Are
friend
you
in the
hungry
whole
for
world.
Vietnamese food?
And he was
No.
always saving my ass.
No, it looks like it's a real dog.
You know, my
Anyway.
nephew's
Brother
real
used
last
to be
name
the
is the
baker,
same as
and my
Dustin
mom-
Nguyen.
Mom used to
When?
send me down every morning before I went to school to pick up.
I thought it was Westbrook. Okay. I'm really done now. All right.
Gwenbrook.
a loaf of bread. That's how me and Ty became friends.
Okay.
His dad went off to the war. Then his mom died, so he was sort of passed around from relative
This is
to relative.
good stuff for this show. That set looks very convincing.
That's an amazing set.
His dad never came back. A lot of dads never came back.
Nice narration, Dustin.
Tai Q was smart. He could hustle. He was also the captain of the Starship Enterprise. I was okay, because I was the SWAT commander. I told him I was leaving, and he was cool about it. He said he'd probably be leaving too. You see, me and Ty didn't worry too much about the war. We figured Saigon was the best place to be. Besides, if the Viet Cong ever broke through the defenses, we would head over to the presidential palace where the tanks were. It would certainly let us in. I mean, I mean, what were they gonna do? Turn away a SWAT commander and the captain of the Enterprise?
How did you guys get out?
That's where the story gets interesting.
So he was telling this story to the captain, and that
now all of a sudden, I guess it's just trying to jump ahead. So now he's
just traveling around the church,
anyone will
telling the
anyone will
story.
listen. Yeah.
Look at Depp in his pre-grunge gear.
I know it's very. I know that fits right in 10 years from then.
He's so cute.
There's nothing dated about that look. That's very Chris Cornell.
Poor Sal Janko has to be in the same scene as Johnny Depp. How much of your insecurities come out when you have to do that?
We know.
Interesting already.
So
Waiting
I'm
for the
dead.
Indian style.
If you're Vin Van Tren, who's H.T. Ioki?
He's an infant who died in San Francisco 20 years ago.
That didn't take long to find out,
Crack the case.
Captain.
Let me see if I can put it together, Harry. Right before you applied to the department, you went to San Francisco and somehow got access to the death files.
Suppose that's a writer for a student newspaper.
Clever. Then you found a Japanese infant who died, and you stole his social security number.
Very good.
That's creepy, first of all.
Clever.
Stealing a dead baby's social security number? I don't know.
Should have been a detective.
And you soon may not be.
Whoa!
Why'd you do that, man?
Don't think you can sass the captain.
No, you can't ever outsass Captain Fuller.
Because I didn't think a Vietnamese refugee would have a rat's chance of getting onto department.
You're probably right.
Why didn't you just legally change your name to H.T. Ioki?
I was going to. Man. I even filled out the papers right here in the chapel. Look, I didn't want to open up a whole can of worms.
Well, it's open now.
Whoa! Gotta punch out. Early dinner tonight.
How are the old in-laws?
Great. They got snowed in New Jersey.
Okay. So where are they going to? They're in New Jersey, and where are they on their way to?
Mm-hmm.
We'll never know.
Metropolis, USA.
What's a flight from Newark to Evergreen?
Oh gosh, yeah, I don't know.
I
Like
know.
an 8-hour flight.
Those right. Because that's such a big destination for everyone.
Miller?
What's the damage?
Well, there's good news and there's bad news.
Tell him the good news first.
You're not suspended.
That's good.
That's good.
Bad news is you're assigned to a desk pending an internal investigation. To
All right.
determine if there's going to be a review board hearing.
What's the likelihood of a hearing?
It's going to happen. Until then, you are not to interact with the public in the manner or scope of a police officer.
Perfect job for me. Don't have to talk
Ioki's
to
like,
anybody.
Ioki's like, why am I spilling my immigration status to a custodian?
Yeah.
He knows the routine.
You got a problem, Captain?
Yeah, I think we do.
I remember being rattled by that scene. Because you got a problem, Captain? Yeah, I think we do. I'm like, that's the most tension I think I've ever seen out of these on the show. And I think they play the scene pretty well too.
Mm-hmm.
Aoki's like his martial arts reflexes.
We have another session in the morning.
Hanson dropping the
Don't be
derby
late.
on him.
That's
Look at
probably
those
not-
boots.
It's just like an ad lib. He didn't want to be there. Rolling his eyes. I hear your eyes.
Depp makes all these great acting decisions, these subtle acting decisions as he's sitting down. He can't just sit like it's either got to be Indian style or the left leg's draped over the table so you can see the pre-distressed boot from the kids in 1981 Florida.
Yeah. How much ice did you just swallow, by the way?
I didn't. It rattled on the.
Okay.
The ice. The cup that keeps it ice, whatever the term for that is.
I was going to be very impressed if you talked through chewing of the ice.
No, I have not chewed. I've only drank, and the ice will hit the cups. You hear it rattle. I got to be more cognizant.
I think your harem of broads likes to hear your ice rattle.
I think it's going to be a staple.
Hey, take it easy, I hope. Look, at least you're not suspended.
Yeah, and they can't take Christmas away from you.
Is Penhold's
So come on.
jacket? I know. Again, this is chick stuff. Is Penhold's jacket acid wash?
Yes, it looks like it is.
That was very cool in 1987.
Yeah, for like 6 months.
I'll be late for Hanson's mom. With Amy. Future ex-Mrs. Hanson.
Like, why don't you guys go ahead, huh? I hate to ruin Christmas for you.
I passed up Club Paradise to see this thing through.
What are you gonna do, Harry? Walk the streets on a cold night? Desperate and lonely.
This is in the
Ready to find
blooper reel.
yourself drinking alone in a bar?
Hitting on some strange woman who has nowhere to go for Christmas.
Who charges you for her company? I think I saw this movie. Ioki, or whatever your name is. It's Christmas. And Mrs. Hanson has a tree to trim.
I can't. Doesn't really matter, but I always wanted to know: is this Christmas Eve? Is it the 23rd? Is it the 22nd? Kind of not sure. How much time do they get off?
My family, maybe we're weird. I know we are, but we do most of our stuff like Christmas Eve night and then Christmas morning. And then, but some of these shows, when they film Christmas episodes, it's like
They don't say what.
the night of the 25th.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's done by then. Why
Yeah,
are you
everyone's done by then.
How can you wait that long to open up your gifts?
I'd really like you to be there, Harry.
There's Amber Heard's car.
The 60 whatever Mustang is the staple cool guy car. As you'll see, Jason Priestley steals this 90210, the yellow one, right?
Yeah, it's yellow.
I don't know about this. It's so last minute. I didn't even get her anything.
Hey, Amy, relax. Mrs. Hanson, she introduces us to new guys all the time. Then, we help her move.
Why don't you give her this?
Oh wow.
Great idea, but
So that
I
means
think
you didn't
this
get anything
card
for your
that says
mother?
Left Tommy will give me away.
Yeah.
Hey, Ioki, you with us or against us?
I know. Christmas cheer.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
See that Bill
is
Murray
you.
voice?
Merry
Peter DeLuise. I think
Oh,
they let him
yeah.
improv,
It is
comedic
so
goof
annoying.
scenes, and he's constantly. I didn't realize it at the time, but he's biting off Bill Murray. He's like doing Carl from Caddyshack, and he constantly breaks into that. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and he goes into that dope voice but again, in all fairness, that generation, what are you obsessed with, right? Caddyshack and Stripes and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, all those
Marlon Brando.
right, all the same point of reference.
See that expression on his face in this freeze frame? He looks like all 10 of he's identical to all 10 of his DeLuise brothers.
I know. You talk about an insistent gene pool.
Oh my God.
Those DeLuises, good Lord.
I don't even think they
You
look
ever see the
anything like
mom?
their
Have we ever
father.
seen the mom?
I've never seen her.
It's only,
Poor
it's almost
woman.
like, did Dom raise them by himself?
I don't know. I don't know the story with that.
Why?
Those brothers show up in later seasons of the show too.
The crazy thing is Michael's got a big role in undeserved big role. I don't know, miscast in Wayne's World.
Mm-hmm.
The first Wayne's World. I don't know if he's in the second one, but he's in that Queen singing episode in the car.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Mine is,
Still at the store, huh?
sort of.
Classic Marcia Rod.
So, I heard about your problem with the department.
Mom.
Mom.
Well, I hope we can straighten it out.
I hope so, too. What do we call you?
Harry's fine.
Can they deport you, Harry?
Mom.
Betty Sue.
It's a reasonable question. Look, Harry's fine. He's not depressed. You
The,
said he was depressed.
You know how they do, in television and movies when you write a character profile. So his mother, I guess she's supposed to be like almost politically incorrect, kind of outspoken. She's prickly and difficult. She can't, after her husband died, after Mr. Hanson got gunned down at that coffee shop
The diner. Yeah.
robbery. Yeah, she hasn't been able to find the right guy, anybody that comes close to him, and she's constantly going through. They imply that she just goes through guys. She's a that guy Bob,
Yeah.
who was Penhall referenced him as they were walking into the house.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, but we help her move. So I guess I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that was the gun. That was the guns in school. There, Columbine episode. When Fuller was the substitute teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And there, so the B story was Hanson's mom met this guy Bob, and she wasn't good enough for him.
It was a very short courtship.
He was impotent. He couldn't get it up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what's the problem, Mom? She goes, Tom, he's not good in bed.
Isn't he cute when he's embarrassed?
I always felt the same thing. You ever see that look he gets on his face when he knew the answer to something?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that look.
Answer the question, Harry. What question? Can they deport you? No. We were given immediate
Poor Dorothy Park. She plays Amy Pearson. I think she thought at this point she was going to be on the show. They would marry. She was, I wonder what she was told as she became. She was his girlfriend for, I believe, about 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder what they told her in the beginning.
She has quite the final episode too.
As the story goes, they were getting fan mail that hated him having a girlfriend. All you broads hate each other. And there was no greater example than the chicks watching the show.
Well, when you're watching, your favorite television show and your boyfriend on the show has a girlfriend, it's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah, and I think the producers responded to the family like, we got to write her out. We thought this is going to work. We like her.
Certainly did.
Yeah.
It's like, what, 3 seconds?
I know. It's one of the bigger episodes too in the history.
I love that episode because it's so
Orpheus 3.3.
Yeah. It's so I don't know the word for it. Typical Jump Street.
Yeah, it's like the time capsule. Again, another non-high school. We've come to binge watching this show in the last few years. We come to realize that the concept of the show of cops going into high school to investigate crimes is abandoned all the time. I mean, you almost have more non-high school undercover episodes than there are actual high school undercover episodes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a departure from it, right? I mean, the one I just mentioned is every time we seem to do something, the Russell Buckins episode, they're not in high school, you name it. They abandon that concept constantly. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they ran out. They couldn't figure out ways to keep it fresh. So they would abandon the concept and get into their personal lives whenever they could.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one.
Status. They gave us green cards right away when we got to the United States.
Yeah, here's your green card. Go open a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Mom, Harry was telling us about TV over there. They watch
Changing
the same
subject.
shows we did.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we watch a lot of TV. The Wild Wild West, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Combat.
They ran combat on TV in Vietnam?
Oh, yeah. It was a big hit. Then the war started coming to us live and in person.
Wow. For this show, it's
pretty good. It
mushroom clouds. Very sad scene. Vin, V-I-N-H.
Yeah, got him. I could have gotten in a lot of trouble for this. But what the hell was my father gonna do? Leave me behind? My mood changed pretty quick, though, when Taikyu told me his relatives were staying.
I wonder how Vietnamese Vancouver is. I wonder how much he stood out in late 80s Vancouver.
I know very little about Vancouver.
I bet you he's. I bet you there's very few. I bet you there's very few.
I would imagine.
And black.
Well, I don't know.
How do you think Holly Robinson and Stephen Williams felt in late '80s Vancouver?
You never know. I've never been there, especially back then.
Supposedly, it's a great city, especially now.
Very expensive.
And this show helped put it on the map.
Very expensive city.
Now it is, thanks to the show.
Không sao đâu mới được. Thì mày sẽ ráng được nghĩ cách nào đi đi. When I said goodbye to Taikyu the night before, I knew it wouldn't be the last time.
Look at this stock footage.
No way. He was too good.
I watched that old stock footage, and I'm always on the lookout. I know this is stupid, but I always look to see if I can see my father somewhere.
No, that's not stupid at all. I'd be doing that too. Thank you for your service. A true. What did you say? He has a Purple Heart?
No. He was discharged. He was injured. A grenade.
Oh my God.
Under his arm, he was injured. Something about a grenade. I don't ask.
Honorable discharge.
Yeah. He was injured, severely injured, and then discharged. I don't get into the details with him. I let him come to me. If he wants to talk about it, I'm willing to listen. But other than that, I won't push.
Well, he doesn't bring it up.
No, he'll very rarely bring it up.
Wow. I mean, no, go ahead.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Why didn't your dad get 5 bone spur deferments? Why didn't that occur to him?
He probably would have gone in to fight again with his arm hanging off. So he's not like a former leader of this country.
I love when that Trump bone spur stuff came out. There was some heckler, I don't know, saw him somewhere walking in, and he got in the crowd with the media. He goes, Commander and Bone Spur. He saluted.
My father probably fought when he had 10 bone spurs on each foot. So, that's not him.
I bet he did. He has the Steve Rogers hop on a grenade, pure as a driven snow spirit of I think your dad's worthy of lifting Thor's Mjolnir hammer.
I agree.
What do you think?
I think it's the most unusual case I've ever been involved in.
What's gonna happen to me?
He's like traveling around the city telling this story.
Now again, this show does a bad job of, is it the next day? So they're at Hanson's mom's Christmas gathering, and who knows, again, is it the 23rd? Is it the 22nd? Is it the 20th? Is it Christmas Eve? Now they jump from his mom, and now he's in an interrogation room with the IAD guy, and we don't know if it's the same day or the next. I assume it's the next day, or they won't tell you anything.
Yeah, I just know they're at Kelly Taylor's house.
To the department, that's cause for immediate dismissal.
I know that. I want to know what my chances are. What do you think they do at the hearing?
I have no opinion. I gather facts. Something you should be asking your lawyer.
Yep.
Captain Fuller? Jeffrey Leibster.
Nice to meet you, Leibster.
Sounds like a bad frat nickname, right? Call me the
You're quite a
Leibster.
celebrity downtown.
Thanks, yes.
Oh, listen, it can't hurt. A high profile puts more pressure on the review board to avoid an unpopular decision.
Leibster's department defended me on the drunk driving charge.
Yeah, I remember. How are you guys on fraud?
I guess we're going to find out, huh?
We're going to find out.
A Canadian Jew.
Complete packet.
A Jew,
No
black, and
problem.
Vietnamese.
I read the transcripts of your interviews with the head.
It's a Jackie Martling joke.
I hope the review board appreciates it.
A lot will be
I'm guessing he laughed after he told it.
writing on the testimony. Plus, of course, a recommendation from your commanding officer.
Uh-oh. I hate my paperwork. I am writing you shit.
Thanks for the support, Captain.
I'll do what I think is right.
That music, did you consider that Asian?
I would.
Pandering?
The feeling there's more going on here than you being upset because I lied on a piece of paper.
Well, yeah, that's not a...
Did he just do Krav Maga on a file cabinet?
Yeah. Jennifer Lopez is going to come in to observe.
He hit the pressure point.
No. That's not a small deal. You lied about your identity to get a job here.
I know.
You've lied to this man, what, 2 years at least?
And in every way, shape, and form. He doesn't know what. And then that you factor in the Vietnam angle, and Fuller's turned all sorts of upside down, but he always comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say I watched it originally. I'm like, he'll cave.
Spoiler.
I would have thought you, of all people, Captain, would understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, I understand where you're coming from.
Uh-oh.
I spent 13 months there. The problem is I don't know who you are. We didn't know who you were then, and I still don't know who you are now.
Then maybe you should think about what happened to us when you people pull out.
You people now.
Yeah, that's not...
he just pulled a you people on Captain Fuller. Not a good choice of words.
No.
You people. By the way, how much time did your dad serve compared to Fuller?
I want to say 2 to 3 years. Wasn't
Okay.
large. It wasn't.
So
wasn't
he
huge.
doubled. He doubled Fuller's service.
Yeah.
This is like faux black and white. It's not...
It's like that MASH black and white.
Yeah. What do you think they shot this? I think Vancouver has some like bay they go to. You see it once in a while in different scenes.
It's supposed to be the ocean.
Some, like, I got to look at the map. Most likely, if we do this, when we do all the Jump Street, we have the map of. We should get out some master map of Vancouver so we can connect. Seriously, because you could see what the hell where they shot a lot of this stuff, and the names of the proper bodies of water and how they staged it. It's quite an extensive set for the show.
By the way, a little bit of violence here. Merry Christmas.
That's sad.
It's very sad.
Looks convincing too. It's well staged. It doesn't look. How cold is that water? Canadian Bay. And when they shot that,
it was harder. Climb the rope ladder.
you thought agents were small in the pants already, having shrinkage in Canadian in a Vancouver Bay.
Looked for several hours and
watched that egg roll atrophy.
Oh.
Whoa! Cigarettes.
Virginia Slim.
That's not according to Hoyle.
No.
What would his sensei say about that? Seriously, he's all about being tip-top condition. I've never seen him smoke.
He's having a stressful moment. This is what they did in those days. You had to smoke, even if you didn't smoke.
Yeah,
and you felt a little bit of stress. Give me a
Yep, even if you
cigarette.
did.
Okay.
Did your dad smoke in
No,
every
no.
soul? He didn't in Nam. He didn't even smoke. Wow.
No, but I think I mentioned it before. He chose Copenhagen.
So
that's his hit.
Okay.
He
You think
probably
it's
had
worse
his
than cigarettes?
yeah, ew, yeah. My dad is very lucky. Nothing has happened to his lower jaw.
Well, good. I mean, he deserves the blessing.
Yeah.
By the way, that last. By the way, just in general, if you watch this, go, oh, stop interrupting. We have to.
I know. It's called fair
It's
use.
copyright up the asshole to just play this straight. You got. If you don't know that by now,
You haven't been
you're an
around the internet very
imbecile.
long.
Yeah, you're an imbecile. So we
Yeah.
have to interrupt it as often as possible.
But you know that's coming. So thank you for warding that off.
Can I, Matt, and we should probably place it up front too when we go back and tweak things. That last scene. Do you remember this? By the way, another Ioki featured episode when he got accused of raping the student, falsely accused when they pinned it on him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where he and Hansen are running together on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they shot that in the same spot.
That's a very good observation.
I wish we could pull it up now.
Yeah.
I just know it's the same. It's a serene looking kind of bay. There's no waves. Vancouver's on the Pacific, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the closest ocean. But yeah, we'll watch that episode and we'll point it out then.
but that's not. I'm not saying that's the Pacific. Whatever bay.
Yeah, I don't think that's the ocean. It's just like maybe a lake. Or...
No, that's not the ocean. What they were, but it's still
Yeah.
ridiculously cold to
Mhm.
shoot that shit in November or
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
they
not a
probably
sunny
shot that
day.
in November of '87 in
Mhm.
Vancouver.
One thing about this shot here, that rickety little staircase going up the side of that rotten building.
It's an old church.
Why would
There's
you?
a church. There's a church I officiated at here and there in Babylon, New York, and it looks exactly like that back. It's this old rickety thing, and it's just like that. It's eerie how similar it is.
Did you make that connection when you were driving up?
I did.
You pretend you were heading over to the Jump Street headquarters.
I open the door and scream out the window, go, Penhall, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Like, who are you talking to?
I bet that happened.
You're in my spot. Oh, Indian style.
We have the
Already.
Bohemian Rebel.
Going. Juan. It's the first time I've ever been on a boat.
Why do you think, I mean,
What?
why do you think he's choosing Hansen?
I don't know, because they wanted Johnny Depp in the
Connect the
scene.
dots. No. Connect the dots. Who are we dealing with here?
Mhm.
That is Private Learner of Platoon. Hashirato. She said she was caught in a bombing raid. She says he got to make a living. That is from Platoon. That is Private Learner. Who else are you going to confide in but the guy who was in Vietnam? Johnny Depp is in Vietnam.
We're gonna go. I want to pull also his scenes from that Platoon documentary.
You could cross that over in a second.
Yeah, but I want to one episode in the future. I want to pull those scenes and go through that.
Oh yeah, Depp
Just his
has a bunch of deleted scenes from Platoon that he was very angry about when he went back to the States to watch it in a Florida movie theater. He went in to find that 70% of what he shot was cut out of the movie.
Yeah,
And the reason being, the theory is from the insiders is that Oliver Stone was threatened by the character he created, this Learner, who Depp played, Private Learner, because he upstaged Charlie Sheen in the movie, and Charlie Sheen is based on Oliver Stone.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were on screen together, you were more interested in the Depp character than you were the Sheen character. Like he should be the center of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so Stone I don't know how you prove that. I have not seen Stone completely admit to this, but everybody seems to be pointing in that direction. And another thing there's a great Platoon documentary on
That's
Amazon.
what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I want
You
to
gotta
pull
do
his
that.
scenes from the movie and then also from the documentary. I don't want to go through the whole documentary.
Depp has a bigger role in the documentary than he does in the movie.
Yeah, I want to.
He's all over that documentary. People like a lot of Depp heads don't realize and stories you've never heard. This is an unbelievable story, which should get much more traction. How Stone pissed Depp off, and the Platoon cast and crew would go out to the same bar on a lot of nights, and they formed a band, a Platoon band, where Depp was the guitarist.
Of course.
Corey Glover of In Living Color was the lead singer who's in the movie, and Kevin Dillon played drums. So one night they're at a bar, and Oliver Stone pissed off Depp he got so drunk, he climbed on a Stone sitting at a table with, I guess, the other producers, and Depp climbed up on I suppose some kind of wall thing, scaffolding in this bar, and went to piss on Stone. He dropped his pants and went to take an actual piss on Stone from whatever it was, 10, 15 feet up. The other cast members saw him do this. They dragged him down before he golden showered on him.
Yeah.
My parents were dead, and IQ was dead.
Is that the Happy Days jukebox in the background?
Yeah.
Is that a real Anderson Air Force Base?
You see, the food situation was pretty bad. It was like having
It's good to me.
150 people show up for dinner on a Tuesday. It was like this for days, man. I mean, you'd be in line for 2 or 3 hours. Then I got an idea.
You're waiting for Madden 2022 to come out.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hello. I had picked up some English, mostly from a sailor on the boat.
How you doing? What's your name?
Smart move.
Your name?
Vin Van Tran.
Hey, Vinny. My name's McKay.
That's a great fake name. I gotta remember that.
McKay.
McKay?
Yeah.
McKay.
Oh, is that Dylan?
Nice meeting you.
No, it's Jack.
Is that Dylan's dad?
Jack McKay.
Jack McKay?
Mm-hmm.
His actor's name is Paul Jarrett.
Corporal McKay had a kind face. I wanted to be his friend. But what I really wanted was a job.
I looked up that actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's the same age as Dustin Nguyen.
Oh, wow.
Swear to God.
That was the line. It was fun for a while. Then it became work. I got tired, but I knew I was on track. I had started
Paul
thinking
Jarrett.
like IQ. I had to think fast because more people were arriving every day.
Mm-hmm.
We were running out of food. No one was prepared for this.
This guy's acted in 111 things. Paul Jarrett.
Wow. Good for him.
He's on Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go through his bio. Let's go with IMDb a little bit. So he's, I think it's all the shit that's shot in Canada, because I know those CW DC superhero shows.
Mm-hmm.
Superman and Lois, 2 episodes. Supergirl, 1 episode. They're all shot in Canada, right?
I don't know.
He's got to be staple Canadian. Legion, The Flash, yeah, it got episode. Once I've been interrogation, proof, The Whisper, a lot of stuff I haven't heard of. Scroll down, anything we know, Continuum, all these years, Alcatraz, of course, whatever, 5th version of that, Fringe, Twilight, Saga, Eclipse.
I unfortunately know
Smallville, everything shot in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Stargate Atlantis, a Peter DeLuise directed show. And anything else you would know? Supernatural, Canada.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, sport. How you doing?
Doing good, McKay.
Good.
Question.
Fire away.
You have
Here we.
Thanks, already ate in full. Come. Come. Come.
Wait a minute, where are we going? Still hungry? You've been eating on the line all day.
Hungry.
Who?
I'm a
Who's
growing
hungry?
boy. We're the same age.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Forget it. Look, I could get in a lot of trouble for this. You're not even supposed to be out here. Come on, give me a break, huh?
Look at that face.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a Camilla face when she wants her bowl topped off. Same face.
How would you know?
That's what cats do.
Oh, okay.
Does Camilla do that?
All right, look. You hide this.
Sure.
Hide?
Hide.
Hide, exactly.
Hide.
What would be the penalty for that if you gave some random Vietnamese boy another ration of food?
I don't know. I don't know how closely they monitor the inventory.
I say not at all.
Yeah, probably not.
The fucking late 60s, early 70s. What kind of, they have no computer system. I mean, what, God knows what they could pilfer
Yeah.
in that chaos. See the military budget. They can handle
I
it.
could feed the people in my tent.
They go to Costco for
I was
that?
a hero.
There's a huge jar of like...
But all I could think about was my mom and dad.
Is
and
it
about
rice?
IQ.
rice pudding.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds good.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now play this out. I have some
Okay.
comments on the...
Tell me when to pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay. I just thought that I put.
He's wearing like a
100% of my mind,
Kryptonian
you know?
ice watch. What the hell is the
Type
color
you
there?
out of my mind.
I don't know.
You feel guilty, huh?
Look at this mall.
Yeah, whenever I think about it.
Harry, he made a choice.
But if it wasn't for me, Jude.
If it wasn't for you, Harry, he'd still be in Vietnam. Like, you know what went on there after the Kong took over. What kind of life do you think he would have had?
At least he would have been alive to live it, okay?
Okay? He loves that. Okay. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. So, I didn't mean to ask about you.
Sorry, my dad wasn't
How was
Gordon
your
in
trip?
Sesame Street.
Oh, nice
That's your
reframe
dad.
there.
That was your dad. Yeah, it was your dad.
Oh, great trip. Great. There's no snow, but there's plenty of rain. My parents are fighting. I think I've caught a cold. And my best friend's getting divorced after only 2 years of marriage. But other than that, it's been a blast.
Okay, pause it.
Okay.
So we talk about, I remember going through the show and realized that everybody on the show, they're supposed to be all in their early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
He has no parents.
Mm-hmm.
Ioki has no parents. His parents are dead in Vietnam. Hanson's dad is dead. His mother is divorced. His mother's a mental patient. Not a mental patient, but his dad's dead. Penhall's parents, both his parents are dead. And Holly Robinson's parents are divorced.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all just like from these crazy, like broken home and dead. It's not like they're 40, they're 20 something and all their parents are gone. The show avoids, they don't want the parental units to be part. It's almost like they want to give them the buoyancy of not dealing with parents or giving them more of a maudlin storyline. Like a superhero story, like they're all Bruce Waynes.
On television, you have to be a cop. You have to come from some type of tragedy, it seems. So you can't come from, a mom, dad, sister, brother, regular, family in America and be a police officer. You have to have been.
It's crazy over the top. Like,
Yeah.
and I never thought of it, and it's still not brought up a lot. But as we piece it together, and the show backward and forward, you put them all. If you were in your early 20s and you started working with a group of people exactly your age, and you shoot it around the room, you're like, hey, tell me about yourself. My parents are dead. How about you? My parents are dead. My dad's dead. Like, dude, 20. How is it a room full of people I'm working with, and all their parents are dead, and the only ones that are divorced?
Mm-hmm.
And then Fuller's divorced, and then so you go to Fuller. You're like, well, Fuller's only supposed to be like in his early 40s here, so he should have parents. They're probably dead. He never talks about them. He's divorced. You don't see his ex-wife. He has a son, Kip, who comes up. They have like the worst family life. And the other thing, no siblings. Hanson's an only child. Holly Robinson's an only child. Aoki's an only child. And Penhall has a brother we don't know about until they need another cast member in season 5. You think he's an only child. And let's, how about Grieco? Booker is an only child.
Who hasn't spoken with his mother in a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has no father. I completely forgot about Grieco. So Booker has a weird mom he's estranged with for whatever reason, and no father. This is all in the same unit.
Yeah. Well, therefore they make great cops. I don't know.
It's like a Bruce Wayne thing. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah?
Thanks for calling.
The Orphans.
Come in.
21 Orphan Street.
Oh.
Look at the vest.
Can we talk?
I know.
Sure.
He should take it off along with the shirt.
Private Lerner wants to talk to his commanding officer. Okay. If anyone's got authority on Vietnam, it's Lerner.
What about him?
He's pretty freaked out about this thing.
I'd like to interpret for him.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Well, what do you think I should do, Hanson?
I think you ought to show him a little support.
What'd you do, Hanson? Yes, good catch by Stephen Williams.
You're right. He lied to all of us.
Yes, true.
You know what I mean. I think there's more to it.
This is a good scene.
Meaning, I don't know. Meaning, there's something else going on here. I don't know. Something went on over there.
Bingo. A war went on over there.
What'd you do if Hanson gets really racist when he walks in the room? He goes, it's all, Fuller never has lights on. He goes, Fuller, you know what? All I see are eyeballs and teeth right now. Put on a goddamn light and maybe we can have a conversation.
Enemy.
Oh, no? And what do you know about it, Hanson? I figure you were about 4 years old when I was shipped over there.
I know that we were fighting the Viet Cong.
No, he wasn't.
North Vietnamese.
We were fighting everybody. The only people on our side were us.
That's bull.
Let me tell you something, Hanson. Everybody's got a story about the war. Mine's about a buddy that lived through 2 tours. 22 months.
Reggie Peterson.
Sergeant Reggie Peterson from Roanoke, Virginia.
I can't believe I remember that.
Reggie saved my butt a couple of times.
Pause it for a second. The only thing I knew about Roanoke, Virginia at that point was Tony Atlas, the wrestler, was from there. From Roanoke, Virginia, weighing in at 256 pounds, Tony, Mr. USA, Atlas. By the way, how much does Fuller look like Buck Williams?
He does. It almost sounds like him, too.
I know. Little does he know he'll be a trailblazer in 3 years.
Oh, that's fine. I like.
He's on the Nets right now. This is an NBA offseason.
I know. I have Buck Williams' New Jersey Nets basketball card.
Do you really?
I do.
Oh, you gotta put that in. You gotta dub that.
Okay.
Put it side by side. He's on an 18 and 64 New Jersey Nets team.
He's off to the wonderful land of Portland.
I'm the only one watching their games. In Long Island, lucky us. We got all 82 Nets games on Sports Channel.
By the way, look at that face. Perfect. All right, that's enough.
one day in Saigon. This is toward
He's
the end of the war.
24 here.
Reggie goes across the street to get the Jeep, while I go over to a stand to get cigarettes. Next thing I hear is the Jeep.
See it? They all smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Exploding. 14-year-old kid is running down the street. He'd rolled a grenade under the Jeep. I chased him. I couldn't find him.
That has nothing to do with H.T. Ioki or who he is now. I don't care if he changed his name. I don't care if he lied to the world. He did it for a good reason.
Fuller's smoldering. He's
Do you know how
boiling
many Vietnamese
over.
native officers we have in this department?
How many?
1. Now.
Like Fuller doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he does a desk clear here, I think. Do it. Yes. I believe it. I believe he's that angry. He doesn't know what to do. That's a tough spot for him to be in. It's a brutal catch-22 situation for Fuller to be in.
From there, I was sponsored out by a Methodist church in St. Louis, Missouri.
It's a good scene.
It didn't take long for me to get
The arch?
sponsored
What?
because I had no mother and father. I went to live with a woman named Bessie Mason. Mrs. Mason had a big old house, and all her children were grown up and had children of their own.
This is his real story.
Mm-hmm.
This is all legit.
At first, I called her Mrs. Mason. Then she became Grandma Bessie.
How are you ever going to learn English watching policemen shoot at each other?
I like this
Program.
program.
You're going to like this one better.
Hi, Bert. Hi, Ernie. Isn't this a nice letter Q that I
Get
have?
this kid a Nintendo.
It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much he played that? You know how much?
Now, I must have been the only 14-year-old in the world who had to watch
Design his own
Sesame
games.
Street. I was the first Vietnamese person in St. Louis. I went to high school there and did pretty good once I learned English.
10Q. I couldn't hear you, Bert. 10Q, 10Q, 10Q. You're welcome, you're welcome,
Okay,
you're welcome.
this show is amazing. So now they reveal his origins. He's from St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they're going to get away with not saying where this is,
Mm-hmm.
where he went to. What precinct is he in now? What city are we in? They will get away with somehow. I mean, you'd think like once you hear he's from St. Louis, okay, you went from St. Louis to where?
I still, and I always have, I don't know if I've ever told you, I lean toward Chicago.
Well, that was my theory because they kept referencing Chicago sports, and they were, you know, it was cold. You'd see
we
like,
did
you know,
talk about that with the,
we
the
talked
McMahon posters. Okay.
Yep.
Bert?
I had started thinking about my future. And right
Seattle or
then and there,
Chicago?
I knew what I wanted to do for a living.
St. Louis police.
After graduation, I came here.
Here!
I had taken a trip to San Francisco
Here!
and found a new name, which you know all about. I didn't think a Vietnamese refugee would have a very good chance of getting into the department.
So he mentions he goes to
Anyway,
San Francisco after this.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he says here, and then he mentions San Francisco right after that. So now anybody watching this would assume, okay, well, I guess the show is set in San Francisco?
I don't know.
Because he implies that he stopped, but that's not it. They're never going to be. You're never going to figure it out. I'm still going through it. I'm still.
They are purposely
infuriated.
trying to confuse you.
Yep.
Accepted as
Obfuscation.
H.T. Ioki and went through the academy.
So he says he's in the San Francisco Police Academy.
I don't know.
That's what that implies. That's
He came here, but I don't know.
here.
You're going to drive yourself crazy.
I know. I've been
wondering.
doing it since the show came on the air, and it's only worse now because I'm picking up on things I didn't pick up on then.
They want you to do this.
That cadence.
Mm-hmm.
That it depresses the shit out of me. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be there. I think it's just because there's no good end in sight. Look, he's got his dog tags on. Fuller. That's the first black-eyed bedhead I think I'd ever seen. Look at the Buck Williams fro on the left. He had like the Wolverine horns coming out. I didn't think it was possible. I remember a black guy with a bedhead.
I was then assigned.
That was convincing.
Jump Street program.
I believe he had a dream like that, and I believe most Vietnam vets have dreams like that all the time.
My dad does.
Did he tell you about it?
Yeah. Well, he had to explain why he would suddenly wake up outside, hiding.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Crouching down behind his pickup truck. So, yeah, I mean,
and you hear stuff like that, you realize we do so little that support the troops bullshit that everybody spouts. We don't do anything. I mean, he's got nice medical coverage, I guess, but I mean, it's probably not as good as he deserves.
Fantastic, and we're in a state, right? You know, he lives in a state where his veterans hospital takes excellent care of him. He's lucky. Not all states are like that, unfortunately. I don't know.
There's got to be some a better monetary system. These guys are so, that PTSD is so real, and so in your dad's case, it's really hardcore. I mean, that is horrible. I don't even know how you would shake it.
You don't. He's at my dad. He's so, we'll say injured or wounded from just where he was stationed. I guess you call it stationed, but I guess he was in a very toxic section of Vietnam.
As an Agent Orange?
Yeah. So the chemicals he was sprayed with are pretty much the root cause of all of his health issues today.
Oh my God.
So he is taken care of by the government. We'll say that. But, and that could account for his disability percentage, could account for the care he receives. I don't know. I just know he went through many years of having to appeal his disability percentage, and he
can't even. He's got to fight it. So he's got to fight.
Oh, yeah, he had to fight it because they want to give him the bare minimum, of course.
Oh my God!
But
I hate this country.
Well, you know, it's all about money.
I mean, no.
Thank you.
And all the rhetoric about support the troops, it's such horseshit.
Mm-hmm.
Officer. What Officer Ioki has left out of the story is the next 4 years of exemplary work in the line of duty, a near-perfect jacket, and 3 commendations. And he's part of a unique undercover program.
Okay, so pause for a second.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little more very rare timeline on what these... Ioki has supposedly been on the force, according to this room, for 4 years. Hansen has been on the force for a year, less than a year or a year.
It's got to be a year. We're in midway through season 2.
Same with Penhall. Same with Judy.
Mm-hmm.
So he has 3 years seniority over all of them, and I don't think that's going to come up ever again for the show's history, and it should. You should be throwing that in their faces all the time. I've been on the force 3 years, 4 years. You haven't. But it doesn't. They act like they're all equal.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Moral issues of the war in Vietnam aside, the people of Vinh Van Tran's country have suffered plenty. Yes. He lied on his application. Yes, that is cause for dismissal.
Look at that hair.
Where's the ice in that pitcher of
But
water?
let's face the truth, gentlemen.
Throw it out.
This police department has 2 discrimination suits pending right at this moment. We don't have an exemplary record in that area. H.T. Ioki had no real criminal intent. Fundamental in how we determine what is a crime. He had
How
no
racist
intent.
is it they gave him a yellow legal pad,
Oh.
Ioki.
To harm,
If you look at
but rather an intent to serve the public.
oh, the cops took their hats
I'd
off.
like to call Captain Adam Fuller.
Adam's a strange first name for him. It comes up once in a while.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would have given him that as a first name.
Captain,
Adam. Is he looking at Adam?
you have
to
a statement you wish
No.
to make to the review
How
board?
about Charles?
There you
Yes,
go.
I do.
Yeah,
Regal.
that's Buck. That's Buck Williams' real first name, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Linwood Williams.
When an officer thinks he's done right, and then suffers the full force of government coming down on him, it's a pretty terrifying thing. I understand what he's going through, and have sympathy for him.
Fuller always comes through.
H.T. Ioki is a very good police officer. He has my full recommendation and support, and I implore you to allow him to stay in this department.
By the way, stop for him.
Mm-hmm.
This show taught me a vocabulary. I will, hopefully I'll record and chronicle the words. That's the first time I ever heard the word implore. Right there. And
Wow.
I learned the word implore from that scene.
Who says Fox didn't teach you?
Oh, I learned a ton of stuff.
Mhm.
Police procedural words too. Acquiescent, they said once. I'm just thinking of stuff. Hearsay,
Mm-hmm.
perjure, all that. I'd never heard those words until this show.
I learned about the galaxy by watching Alien Nation, and
You
about
and Fox. You love Fox.
what men really
Oh.
think of women by watching Married with Children. So I'm good to go.
Camaraderie was a word Hanson used in the moving van. So, okay, let's again. What day is this? Well, how many days?
We could be in that weird week between Christmas and New Year's. I mean, they just haven't taken the
Do you think
decorations
they
down.
celebrated Christmas already?
Maybe.
Because there's a scene at the end where they're sitting at it eating what looks like Christmas dinner.
Maybe all this happened on Christmas Day. This entire.
You can't. There's no way this is one day.
Well, Judy was calling from the mall, and the mall's not open on Christmas Day usually.
They love that mall. That whatever that Vancouver mall. We got to figure what that is. The cliche of mall Christmas shopping.
It's the
Last
Evergreen
minute.
Mall
Yeah.
on Evergreen Avenue.
You recognize this, Harry?
Yeah. This is one
I
of my
love
name
Hanson
change
shirt.
applications. Where do you find it?
It was in Captain Jenko's old file cabinet. Found it last night.
No kidding.
Apparently he stamped it and filed it away before he died.
Great
Okay,
system.
so, what does this mean?
Well, it means we have one more piece of evidence for the review board.
This just might pull your head right off the chopping block.
Really?
Hanson's not.
Really?
Hanson's not buying.
Demonstrates the officer's willingness to correct the original application. I'm going to submit it right now. They're not due for a decision until tomorrow.
That's
Use Christmas
great.
music in the background.
You're as good as back. Give me the $10 you owe me.
Well, guys.
That's a common recurring thing they do, where Penhall says something
Yeah.
ill-timed and stupid and dopey, and Hanson gives him the Karl Malone
Mhm.
elbow. He's always in front, placed strategically.
Mm-hmm.
Ioki.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Iokage.
Thanks, Captain.
You guys want to
I
give
love
us a
that
minute?
nickname.
Sure. Look, Harry, I just wanted to tell you that, well, I would have done exactly the same thing you did if the circumstances were reversed.
I appreciate it.
I was
Show a little
somewhere
more
I didn't want to be.
enthusiasm, Harry.
I know. He saved your
The guy
ass.
really
I had
fucking
no control over it.
I was
We're
forced
all
to go
out for
somewhere
you.
I didn't want to go. I guess I had no control over it either.
that Asian stoicism.
At least I had somewhere to go back to.
Fuller deserves better. Yeah, the New Jersey Nets.
I guess, we're just a couple of victims, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Don't you guys have some work to do?
Hey, relax, Captain. It's Christmas. All the kids are
There
out
you
of
go.
school. Whatever crimes they're committing in Florida.
Pause it.
Mm-hmm.
But you said "there you go" as if it's Christmas. He means
he just told you
it's Christmas season.
I know.
And here's my question for you: do you think these guys have off? Do you think they have the same schedule as kids, like teachers do?
I would think so. Nobody else is here.
They have a school year. They have a school year schedule,
Mm-hmm.
so they're off.
Don't judge anything by these people hanging out in this building. They are probably off this day, and they just wanted to come hang out.
Which could be. I mean, it could be just like topping stuff off and dotting some I's. But I'm curious if the undercover high school cop narcs have the same schedule as the kids do, meaning the same days off.
Yeah,
same
probably.
vacation.
If not, the difference in time is just filled with paperwork.
It's a cool gig. I can't. I don't know. They might have. I don't know what they would do with them.
Do you think
if they're all ensconced in the high school world and that's their thing? What do you do with them on the off weeks? They'd have to force to take their vacations.
Yeah, or they send them out to do real police work in the city. I don't know. Do you think Hansen just comes to the office like on his days off to make his long distance phone calls? And that's what he's doing here.
I think you nailed. That was a very thing people did in offices when you worried about long distance calls. I know. I remember working at CBS TV, and my friend said, he goes, no. He's like, you don't make any long distance calls. You do it here. You do it here. I don't care. And that was those are the days when you were terrified about making a call to fucking New Jersey.
When you had to dial 1, you were in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh.
They killed you on those phone bills.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 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 Turn in your uniform. Yeah. Come in.
It's the first time I've seen that TV in someone's office.
Now, I'm not one to be cynical, Captain, but a Christmas miracle?
This is Tom Hansen dressed up.
Yeah. This is his well, he occasionally puts on the stand-up comedian sports jacket.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To do his set at the comic strip. Or the Comedy Store.
Well, yeah.
With the white sneakers.
With the white sneakers. The Seinfeld garb.
This time of year.
A 2-year-old piece of paper from the bottom of Ioki's drawer winds up in Jenko's old file cabinet.
Oh, by the way, with my horrible Long Island accent.
Mm-hmm.
The way Depp phonetically pronounced drawer there,
mm-hmm.
That was the first time I realized that drawer had an ER at the end of it.
How would you say it? Draw?
We say draw. You draw. Get the scissors out of the drawer.
Oh. No, don't you folks
I didn't know it had an ER at the end.
Don't you just say, like, get me a scissor?
A
scissor. You don't even pluralize?
In the drawer.
Get the scissor. Okay.
Why not?
Well,
because Jenko never filed a thing in his life.
Well, maybe he's filing things now.
I love that scene. We should say the original Captain Jenko, Frederick Forrest, left the show after, I think, 4 or 5 episodes. Fuller is his replacement. Frederick Forrest hated the TV schedule, as I found out a few months ago, and kind of found a way out of the show. He couldn't handle the TV regimen. And they replaced him with Fuller. So Fuller is referencing the original captain on the show, Captain Jenko, same name as Sal Jenko. Mr. Depp has quite a lot of power at the very onset of the show to have the captain named after his best friend.
Well, Star of Private Resort and Nightmare on Elm Street
and Hotel.
Pull. Yeah.
And I another movie I forgot to mention. If you I think it's a Showtime original movie called Slow Burn, which probably is like 10 movies with that same title. And in it, he gets to start. He has a lot of like old character actor, like classic. he has it pretty good in Hotel. His father's played by Robert Forster. You know, that character who passed away recently.
Yeah.
Old classic character actor. And in Slow Burn, his mother is Beverly D'Angelo.
Okay.
And Eric Roberts is basically the star of this. He plays like some weird, creepy journalist who's like snooping around. And Depp is a big Eric Roberts fan. It's one of his acting inspirations.
Okay.
If you go listen to some interviews with him, some old interviews with him, he doesn't bring him up much anymore. By the way, that was a great scene.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Guest star.
Oh, you're the.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both from there. Yeah, Facts of Life. Mindy Cohen, Natalie Green from the Facts of Life is Blowfish's wife. She's in, I think, 3 episodes.
I'll go with you.
Hanson's wearing a tuxedo.
I know.
I must have
I assume this is Christmas Day.
Before we went plastic.
Probably.
My kids can shadow plastic.
All right,
That's a good line.
enough. Knock it off!
Oh, very effective.
This is funny. This is like his real house, though, on Thanksgiving.
It's Amber Heard throwing shit at him.
Jack. You're a savage, Blowfish. You're a savage. Oh my God, Blowfish, you're a savage. Listen, get somebody wish Jack Depp the towel snap him. This is really funny. Amy Pearson's losing her shit. She can't hold in. She's really laughing. You hear that elephant noise?
I just love getting out of the house.
What a crazy room that was.
I like to make a toast. I just think that it's great that we all here together to share the holidays. And I like to make a toast.
To answer your question, no, Fuller's not drinking orange soda. That's ridiculous what you even said.
Oh.
To all of us, however we got here.
To Type Q. Never did get here.
What is that?
I don't know.
They're all wearing ties and
Reggie Peterson of Roanoke, Virginia.
to Tony Atlas of Roanoke, Virginia.
To everyone else we left over there.
Some weird champagne. I wonder if this is the same set that the original when they visited his mom, or they switched it. Could be anywhere. Oh, this always bums me out. Jonathan Lemkin, see that guy? Supposedly he's the youngest writer on the staff. So this is the staff. This is the cast and crew, mostly crew. To Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, they have like a montage of this is a very rare credits thing they did here. I like it though. It shows you all stills from the episode itself. I want that Jump Street letter jacket.
Oh, good news. That's
you said
what
you
got
saw
for
it on
Christmas.
eBay, huh?
Yeah. I got it for you for Christmas.
Yes.
I'm paying monthly on it now.
I have Stephen Canal's letter jacket. Is that him? No. You don't see Stephen Canal in any of this.
He's typing.
I wish they'd say who's who. I love it. So the whole cast and crew says, "Season's greetings," and you think it's a Canadian goof, so they say like a
I think
Mackenzie brothers.
They're laughing because they're in Canada.
They're goofing on Canada by doing right. Season's greeting is A.
So see this T in from the cast.
You got to pause
the
that.
T. I know, I did. So right behind that T here is a man in a red jacket. Right behind him is a man named Johnny Depp in a black trench coat. It looks like with like a
derby.
Yeah. Or that.
So okay, so wait, so 3 rows back, 5 people in Depp. You see Depp in the derby. Peter DeLuise is. This is tough.
I don't know where he is.
I
you
found
have a
him.
suspicion. I don't think that's him.
Back left. 7 rows back.
I don't know.
Or is
It's
he
too
in the
blurry.
is he in the very front? It's very blurry.
I don't know.
Stephen Williams is in the back right. Way in the back.
I don't know about that either now that I see this on a different screen. Looks like a younger guy. No. He's in a red. No. Stephen Williams is in a red sweater. I see Stephen Williams. He's to the left a little bit of Johnny Depp. Like, there's a woman next to Johnny Depp.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's Stephen Williams.
He's on Depp's left or our left?
No, he's on Depp's right, but he's on our left.
Oh, okay. You're right. Do you see Sal Janko?
No.
Is he on the far right, 4 rows back? Our left.
Maybe. Yeah, I see him in like a...
His right, our left.
No, I think it's our right. He's like in a blue. He's like 4 people back.
Dustin Nguyen's wearing a white dress shirt and tie. No pun intended. He's in the 3rd row back.
Okay. Anyway.
See, like he's on our right.
Mm-hmm.
As we look at the picture,
I think
see him. He's next to the guy in a leather jacket.
I think Janko is in glasses, like shades.
Okay.
And he's in like that janitor.
Viper room chic, right?
Yeah, but he's in that janitor onesie.
Okay, all right.
So anyway, I don't know where Holly Robinson is. I don't care.
I can't see her either.
Yeah.
She went back to Sesame Street.
Yeah, that's all right.
She's from Philadelphia, actually, originally. Patrick Hasbro.
There we go.
Done it again.
Time to go to school.
Stephen J. Canal, you've done it again.
Gotta go to bed now and get ready for school the next morning.
Although this aired on December 20th. So were you going to school the next day or were maybe like a couple more days?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
You didn't have that same feeling.
Yeah.
Because you were going to have a couple weeks off coming up.
Exactly. But you knew that that final day was going to be here before you knew it. And you'd have to go to school the next day. So you can never escape it.
Good, for this show, very good episode. I give it a A-.
Mm-hmm. So we're going
as ambitious as it was.
We're going to add a lot of extras with this being a holiday. We got to add a lot of ornaments to the tree. So we'll do that and get this out shortly before the actual Christmas day. So
in addition to deleted scenes, which is bizarre, and other bon mots,
bloopers, etc.
Tidbits in an interview I had with Stephen Williams where he talks about this episode.
And I'm sure you'll probably want to reenact a scene as usual. So
from this or from
anything?
Platoon.
Maybe Platoon.
Yeah,
we got
to slip in Platoon.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, learner. He knows what I'm saying. Hakedato, hakabato, hakato.
Oh Lord.
He says he was hit. He says he was hit in a bombing raid. You know, he says he has to make a living and all that kinds of shit. Oh, fuck you, learner. He knows what I'm saying.
That's it. There we go.
Depp describing Tom Berenger one time. He goes, you know, then I did Platoon with Tom Berenger, who's a real actor.
Oh. Okay, so let's get in. We have some extras that we want to go through to end this broadcast, and maybe a few surprises thrown in here. Now, you were in charge of picking all these extras in honor of the holiday season, so you're going to lead us through this stuff.
Can I make a comment though about your cat? I was watching the second part of the Viper Room. Is that the last thing we did?
No, we did Tracy Jacobs last.
Tracy Jacobs. I'm sorry, Tracy Jacobs part 1. Your cat looks like it could be the daughter of Panthro from Thundercats.
She is.
Another Fox show, by the way, which came around right around the same time Jump Street did. Well, it wasn't really syndicated. It was on my Fox in New York.
She is the daughter of everything beautiful and everything important in the world.
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Hear the magic, feel the roar. Thundercats are loose. Can't you see Panthro yelling at Camilla or teaching her, to, just her mentor, and he sent her off to live in modern day. Camilla, I teach you martial arts so you can keep up with Lionel.
She taught him. Watch your tongue.
Oh, the student teaches the mentor.
Of course. Okay, you ready? Let's
Yeah,
get
by the
through
way,
this.
well, little pop culture nerd fact, the voice of Panthro on that show, Earl Hyman, who played Mr. Cosby grandfather on the Cosby Show.
Is it horrible
Swear to
that
God.
at the age of 40 at the age of 43 I still laugh at these weird names? Okay.
Cliff, where's Theo at? I want to see my grandson.
Oh God. That's a good impersonation.
Well, that's what if he listens to Panthro, he doesn't really alter his voice.
Okay, so we have all I know, I put this together, but I haven't really listened to it. So the first thing is a promo for the episode we just watched. And any word on this before I push play?
Yeah, this is one I dug up. Fortunately for our channel, I'm able to get the promos for the original 21 Jump Street, the stuff that ran on your syndicated Fox during the week. And they clubbed you over. That new Fox clubbed you over the head with it. It ran all the time. So this is the one for the Christmas in Saigon episode we have. I have most of them now saved, and I'm going to randomly release them on the Deppening YouTube channel. WINO Forever, the Deppening YouTube channel. I think I have about 2 or 3. They're not really in order. I'm sort of want to put them as I find them. You can't put them in order. It's too difficult. I don't know. There's probably a couple gaps and glitches, but I vividly remember. I remember those, and I remember the TV guide. A TV guide would have a page, and it would say, this week on 21 Jump Street, would show like, those are great. You have a TV guide, don't you?
I do. It's the Johnny Depp and Holly Robinson issue.
Oh, right. Shit, you showed me that. Do you think that makes for an episode, or is it not enough?
It's not enough. The issue, it's total clickbait cover. He's not even mentioned in the article. It's all about her.
It's about Holly Robinson?
Yeah. So they made me buy this. I even searched through my grandmother's TV guide pile for hours just to find this issue, and it's all about Holly Robinson.
I bet it's worth a lot of money.
And no, it's not.
Yeah, this actually is Seinfeld. I hate it. I hate everybody. Very cliche thing we do in America. This is a Seinfeld episode. Everything's a Seinfeld episode. Everything in life, it's a little. But this truly is. I mean, there's an episode where this dude collects TV guides, and it was stupid at the time. Like, this is like the early 90s. Like, oh, who would do that? Because TV guides were still rocking and rolling when this came out, and now it's gone. And, I wish I saved that. Now you want it. Now you really want it. I wish I had all.
I have that, and I have the issue where Bobby Ewing is in the shower after the dream season. So I love Dallas. I have seen every episode of Dallas, and one day
I have the one with Victoria Principal in the shower.
Oh, of course you do. you have the Playboy edition of TV Guide.
Was she ever nude? VP?
I think she was. She was one of the. No, I think she was natural. I was going to say she's one of the originators of the implant in the 80s.
They didn't have implants on that show, did they?
No, I don't think so. I think she was weirdly natural. But anyway, I don't want to put that image into your mind. You're talking to me right now. So, all right, let's play this.
Sunday, a special 21 Jump Street.
He loves all of us.
Aoki reveals a secret past.
My real name is Ben Vantran. I lived in Saigon.
A refugee who struggled for survival. Aoki relives the horror of war and the flight from his childhood home to a new life in America. Based on actor Dustin Nguyen's true life adventure, this is his unforgettable story of courage and friendship.
Sunday on TV 29.
Philadelphia.
Wow, so we were right. I mean, they had Fox gave them really wrote them the script. I love the voiceover guy going, Ioki relives his real life experience. There's nothing like a voiceover guy saying Ioki. That's so surreal.
That
It was
voiceover
well done,
guy,
and we were spot on. That is totally based on his real life experience.
he was a staple of the 80s, that voiceover guy. I wish I knew his name. I'd give him
there's him,
credit.
and the other guy is Optimus Prime.
Yep, exactly.
Peter Cullen.
Of course you know that.
Autobots roll out this week on 21 Jump Street. Optimus Prime.
But he did it too. So when I show you the other Jump Street promos, Peter Cullen also did it. It wasn't just that guy. Like they would vacillate and swap. How much money do you think those guys make just sitting in a studio and pumping out 70 of those a day?
Now today a lot more, but back then I don't know. I would hope a lot, because they probably didn't have as many luxuries. Like they couldn't, have 55 takes for one line. They probably had to just spit it out, and they had to move along quickly.
That Peter Cullen was pretty talented. He also did the voice of the Red Skull in the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends series. Because I remember looking at it and going, wait, I watched it like 2 years ago. And I'm going, who? I'm like, damn it. And then realized, holy shit, that's Optimus Prime. You have a finer ear as you get older and you connect it. But, those guys, there was like, 10 voiceover artists, and they did everything back then. They were all, the guy did Shaggy, did Casey Kasem did Shaggy. And he did Robin from the Super Friends, and he did Mark from Battle of the Planets. So you see there's like 10 of them, and they all did. You know who else was a voiceover guy that did that style of promo was George Clooney's cousin who passed away, Miguel Ferrer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you hear his voice, if you see him acting, you go, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I know him best, not even as George Clooney's cousin, but as he was like almost a witness in Dominique Dunn's murder back in the 80s. Hey,
oh, my God.
I have watched almost every E! True Hollywood Story from that era.
Soap opera. You're like a soap opera aficionado in a way that almost like a savant. It's crazy. You're almost too young for it too.
Yeah, that's a horrible story though. I encourage people. I'm not going to go over it, of course. It would be days.
Oh, speaking of E! True Hollywood Story, that one. See, I always for while they were running those E! True Hollywood Stories, I always felt that Jump Street got screwed out of their. There's a 90210 one, there's a Marrow Children one, there's for everything except them, and that it begs for it. So there's so much to come out of that. We've talked about it. But there's so much to come out of that show. Not just Depp, just all the ground they broke, all the stories they could have. I can't believe it hasn't been done, and it begs for some kind of Netflix documentary but I know we started this talking about how the Viper Room never truly got and the ours was an attempt to do the Viper Room. Well, ours is also an attempt to do Jump Street, but we're not gonna just to hear there's so many people that would, because I've excavated many interviews where they're now speaking candidly about it. So Grieco and Dustin Nguyen and Holly Robinson, I'm sure Peter DeLuise and so many of the producers that are still around, Patrick Hasberg. I don't think Depp would do it, but I think he's closer to doing it now than he would have, say, 10, 15 years ago.
Well, they'd have to just pull go through the archives of all the interviews he did at the time and use him. He would not even go on set.
I don't know. He's really humbled now. So. He might play ball. He may not have anything else to do that day, we'll just say. So, all right. You ready? Now I'll set these up. These are outtakes. These are deleted scenes, outtakes from the very episode we just reviewed. Okay. Which I find bizarre. Like I initially thought, oh well, it's an outtake, or it's they did several takes of the same. No, these are deleted scenes. Like this is not in the episode. None of this is. So it was just like there's two of them, and I think they're not even maybe 90 seconds at most. And it makes me just want to get all the dailies and outtakes and for them to come out like some super extended version of all the stuff they cut. I sit here and
knowing the series backward and forward, it makes me mental that there's anything we missed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the end of this episode, that when they're at the supposed Christmas dinner table, and this is in between. This scene does not exist in the episode, even the ones I have.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just fixing my armadillo chest here. Alright, kitties. Alright. Oh, busy. Fixing my props. Okay.
And action. Where's Ed Wood when you need him, man?
Mm-hmm. We'll be visiting him next month, maybe. Okay.
By the way, how much does Amy, his girlfriend, look like fucking Miss Elizabeth, Randy Savage's valet?
She also, in the 80s, there was also, they tried to bring back that series Gidget, and they did.
Oh, yeah, she looks like Sally Field, right?
I don't think it was Sally Field, though.
It was
Sally Field.
Doppelganger. It was just, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was obsessed as a young child. I was obsessed with the remake, and it didn't last very long at all. But it was set in like the 80s. It was so dumb. But I don't think I could watch it today if I could ever find it.
Drop that bird, you're a dead man.
No problem. Here, watch yourselves.
Thanks again for having us, Mrs. Hanson. My pleasure. Well, our parents can get out of New Jersey salon.
I can't believe they cut out Depp carving a turkey out of the.
I was gonna say I'd let him carve my bird if he wanted to.
I knew you were gonna say it. You know who they let do it in the episode? If you go back, it's Fuller carving the turkey. I think just like at a cookout or a barbecue, you always let the black man work the grill. So they couldn't not have him do that.
Mm-hmm.
You okay over there, Chief?
Not really.
Fuller's not having it. He's going to take over. So Penhall commandeers the cutlery from him and gives it to Fuller.
Sal, you work the chapel?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not the janitor.
No, that's it. That's it. This part's in. She makes a custodian remark and embarrasses Blowfish. By the way, as we denigrate our great maintenance engineers and custodial staff, which we can't live without them, I've heard, when I worked at a school, I've heard a rumor that the custodians make more than the teachers do.
It's possible.
I bet you that in real life, custodians make more than cops do.
I don't know. I've never thought to look it up. But I can see how that would be possible.
I bet you I bet you, especially the new cops are on the force for like little over a year. I bet you they barely make more than Blowfish does. If you compared salaries in Evergreen, Metropolis, Metropolitan Evergreen.
They have a great union. They have a great union in the.
No, they do have a great union.
Yeah.
They do have a great union.
I'll get it this time.
I'll go with you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna die. 3.3 Orpheus.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that episode. I'm looking forward to that one. A lot of underwear shots. Okay, so this is another scene
for the uninitiated. That's the episode. His girlfriend bites it because there's too much fan mail wanting her off the show, because every chick that watches the show thinks they have a delusional shot with Thomas Hansen.
Well, I did.
And they want to tease their 14-year-old girl demographic into thinking that will happen if we keep him single on the show. All you schmucks believed you had a shot at the Depp man.
I did, so I don't. So hush. Okay.
All you harlots.
So this is the mother, Tom Hansen's mother, welcoming the guests in for the.
No, the man eater. Oh,
yeah.
Here she comes. Watch out, for Mrs. Hansen's gonna chew you up. She's the man eater.
Mm-hmm.
After Mr. Hansen got shot, she became a man eater.
Like that's where her son got it from.
Action!
I'm coming!
Completely cut.
Hi! And you must be Amy. Tommy told me nothing about you.
Hello, Mrs. Hanson. It's a pleasure to meet you. Please, Margaret. Margaret. The house looks wonderful. Thank you.
Margaret
I painted
Hanson.
it myself, you know.
Hello, Mrs. Hanson.
Hi, you guys. Hi. Come on in the living room. You got to see the tree. Ooh.
Hanson with another Karl Malone elbow here.
Well, at least you don't want Amy to call her mom. Oh!
Nice.
Oh, what a terrific tree!
That tree looks great.
Thanks. I just couldn't wait. I did it myself.
Where's Bob?
Bob and I are history.
Oh, sorry.
Sophie, I'm not.
Where's Henry?
Henry had to fly east to see his family. Come in, sit down, sit down.
I completely disagree with the decisions of the producers to cut that scene out. It gives you backstory. It connects the audience going, where's Marge Hanson's ex-boyfriend Bob from the last time she was on? That's fucking, what is that, 60 seconds? You can't leave that in to give us some exposition? Completely disagree.
Yep. So this
By the way, Hanson's, Karl Malone's elbows have nothing on that elbow Hanson just gave Penhall.
I would imagine he so didn't want to be there to the extent that he was willing to injure his coworkers at certain points during filming.
Well, he's still in I want to be there mode because that's midway through the second season, so I think he's okay still with the show and the direction and the and then they throw him a bone, as you're about to show now, because they let the 21 Jump Street Band play at the Christmas party, which is completely in line. It's almost like they shot that and they went right into this. So this is footage somehow we excavated of the actual 21 Jump Street Christmas party from December of 1987. I'm assuming this is in Vancouver. I don't think it's in LA.
No.
They're still in. I think they stayed in Vancouver to do this. So the 21 Jump Street Band plays, and it's Depp on guitar, Holly Robinson sings, and a couple of producers are playing bass and drums. And
but we've got before that happens, though, we've got some scenes from the party first.
Yeah, so it's kind of like showing you the. It's so phenomenal. Someone threw this up, whoever it was. Thank you.
I'm going to turn it down just a little bit.
They had extensive filming here, too. This is the Lure Fish Bar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. $50,000 to rent this place out for a night.
Tom Hansen playing saxophone. Don't you feel like Stuttering John should be at this thing?
He probably tried. I'll turn it back up when the band starts. That man right there, that man played Blanche, my favorite person to play one of Blanche Devereaux's boyfriends on Golden Girls. I forget his name. Are you serious? Yeah.
This is a real actor?
Yeah, that's an actor.
So why would this guy be invited to the 21 Jump Street Christmas party? Because I do not know him from any episode.
Maybe he's friends with a producer. I don't know. I forget it. I wish I could tell you the character's name, but he's my favorite.
Oh my God.
From one of my favorite episodes.
Didn't you say you recognized some other people from Jump Street that were?
I don't.
Didn't someone play that
remember.
guy, Billy Jane?
Well, yeah, he's in oh God.
Played
one of the guys. He's the brother.
But he's on a Jump Street episode. He's in the first season.
He's also Blanche's grandson, David.
Yeah. Okay. He was on Parker Lewis.
Yeah, Sophia slaps him because he makes a comment about he doesn't want to sit around and watch their arteries harden.
Oh no, he said that?
Yeah, he says that, and then Sophia.
The political incorrectness of the 80s.
And then back then, when the kid gets slapped, and it tells you the attitude back in those days. With
by the way,
discipline.
how old were they?
I don't know. It tells you the attitude toward discipline of children back then, because the audience cheers when the kid gets slapped.
How old were the ladies during the filming that he's making artery hardened jokes?
You know what's real in real life?
Yeah, like in real life. Was that like a complete exaggeration of how
Of
old they
course,
really were.
They weren't as old as their characters were. But what's really depressing? Blanche was in her early 50s.
Yeah, and he's making artery hardening jokes.
Yes, I'm not far from that. Oh, it's so depressing. I should have let it play through.
I can't believe it.
He plays the owner of a seafood restaurant, but it's like one of those blue collar on the dock seafood restaurants. And he's not an owner. I'm sorry. He's a cook at the restaurant. Sorry.
Oh, is that Marge Hanson? Yes. No, wait. No. She's in the episode, so she could be still hanging around. Marsha Rod?
Maybe.
Marsha gives me Rod.
I think I had that sweater. And I had that hair on the right at one point in my life.
I almost said Sherilyn Fenn, but it's not her. It's
somebody's niece who wanted to see Johnny Depp.
Yeah. 80s hair is crazy. We got it. What are they thinking? The mullets. The hockey hair. This is the hockey hair capital, too. The Canucks. Who is this guy? I wish they could put captions and could figure out we got to figure out who that actor was you were talking about to connect him to the show. I want to see what his stake in the show is. I have to know. Well, he gets Canadian microphones.
Yeah.
So they have a press crew at the fucking 21 Jump Street Christmas party. I wonder what the point of this is.
I don't know.
Are they filming like Canadian TV? They have these undesignated. Is that Jennifer Grey on the left?
No, that's Nancy Martling.
For all you Howard Stern fans, that was a brilliant reference. That looks exactly like Nancy.
She's there to sing "It's Christmas."
Well, Jennifer Grey is dating Depp at this point.
I'll buy one of those shirts, but it's.
Oh my God! It's Jump Street swag. What is this?
I don't think it's Jump
You got to
Street.
get your Deppening t-shirt, your
I
structure.
I think they're like doing a charity T-shirt sale or something.
Is that Blowfish? Yes, it is. They're doing like a food. Is it a food drive, or are they just serving?
And they're just serving food.
Potluck. Every cast member. Oh, cut to the stage.
Mm-hmm. So we have. Is that Johnny Depp on the left? No.
It's
another guy.
You see, is at the mic, right?
Yeah, that's Jalsenko, your avatar.
Yep.
Okay, so on the right, we have the singer. They were really trying to prop her up as a singer during this entire series. So,
did you know she's in the beginning of the Babyface video? She does an introduction. Oh God, what is the name of that song?
I think you made me watch it.
Whip Appeal. Whip Appeal.
Okay.
For all you music nerds from the late 80s, Holly Robinson is in the video Whip Appeal at the height of this show, and she does an intro for Babyface. You got that whip appeal, so work it on me. Hey, whatever you want, it's all right with me. You got that whip appeal, so work it on me.
You are one of 3 people that know that song.
Oh, come on. That was big. That was big. It'd be on like the pop station on my radio. I'd play simulated Nerf basketball NBA games in my room of matchups that television refused to show. So it would be like the Indiana Pacers versus the Seattle Supersonics. And I'd take stats on my own. It was phenomenal.
Oh, let me turn this up.
The Kettle County Cowboy!
He's preparing for his days of introducing acts at the Viper Room.
Oh God, it's a complete prelude. This is so Viper Room.
Whoops. Hold on, I'm adjusting volume.
I wonder
here.
if Holly ever. We're gonna have to ask Holly on Twitter if she ever sang at the Viper Room.
There's your star on the right.
This is such a simpleton
to the
song.
audience. He's got his back to the audience.
You know more about some broad music than I do. Holly Robinson, for a very brief time, was in rotation with not Destiny's Child. What was the band? What was the girl group? The black girl group before that? Not TLC. Yes. She was in rotation with them for like a year or two.
Oh, good for her.
I
can't.
You know who you remind me of? You know who you remind me of? I've said this to you on the Gunk cast. You remind me of Natalie Maines from the Dixie Chicks, and we will bring her up in the future when we do the West Memphis 3 Depisode, and Damien Eccles in that whole thing. Which now you remind me of, because I've been watching a lot of insurrection stuff. Liz Cheney. You have that silent assassin, demure kind of, I guess silent assassin would be the stoic killer voice that she has.
Thanks.
Have you heard Liz Cheney in some of the like insurrection speeches where she goes off on Jim Jordan and the Goon Squad?
I try to avoid that as much as possible, but I'm familiar with Liz Cheney.
Okay, it's a compliment. I think anybody listening to this will say it's a compliment.
I don't watch MSNBC.
Very poised and measured.
I don't spend my afternoons with MSNBC like you for 9 hours at a time.
How do you know how many hours I spend watching Nicole Wallace talk to the hell
Joy
his
Reid?
name?
Tell me how evil I am because I'm of the pale persuasion.
You're the white devil.
I know how long you watch that. Okay.
My goal is for MSNBC to be all black by in 2 years from now. The whole lineup is black.
Isn't it? Should they? Never mind.
It's
okay.
going to be Jamal. It's going to be Jamal Scarborough instead of Joe in 2 years. I like Joe.
I don't mind him. His wife is another story. Okay, here we go. Oh. Depp's in the back.
It's such a simpleton song.
I know.
Who chose this for a Christmas party?
I think she did.
There's so many rockin' Christmas songs you could choose, right? The Hall & Oates one, Billy Squire. What is this? And they're in Canada singing this.
Mm-hmm.
Screaming about the USA. Who's the original artist of this song? I barely even know.
I don't know. I don't even know.
It's such a classic bar band simpleton song.
She's more of a yeller than a singer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm still bitter. I'm not going to be mean to her, but I'm still bitter. She took up that entire issue of TV Guide. I'm still bitter.
I like Holly though. I like Holly for the most part. Don't get me wrong. I am a fan. I like her spirit. I like the fact she fought Robin Givens. She had a fist fight with Robin Givens. Isn't that in the article?
No,
she had an actual fist fight when they were. No, it is. I'm telling you. You showed me. You scanned it and sent it to me. She had a fist fight with Robin Givens.
I'll have to look at it again someday.
I think they went to the same high school together.
Okay.
And she went to Hollywood High. You know, that Rob Lowe, Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez. Mm-hmm. So she went to that. I forget the name of Sean Penn, Christopher Penn.
He finished school, Sean Penn. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, let's get through this Scream Fest. I want to study Johnny playing guitar.
Get us back to the audience. Looks like Brian Robbins on bass.
There's a scarf. He has a scarf.
Does he really?
Yes, yes.
That's a scarf?
Yes. Look.
Okay. Where?
Hanging from his pocket. It's hanging from his pocket.
I thought it was around his neck. Okay, I thought it was around his neck.
No. Look at the Dior ad. I got to tell you a story about Dior off the show, but conversation at work with somebody about the Dior ad. So anyway.
You eavesdropped on it, or they?
No, I started it because somebody said something about his cologne, and the commercial. I said, "You like the commercial?" And she said, "Yeah, but why does he talk like that? He didn't talk like that in Nightmare on Elm Street."
It's so funny to listen to like just casual novice fans, not even fans, but just humanoids, pedestrians talk about what his speaking voice or anything, his entire persona.
Yeah, she goes, "I thought he
We've
was American."
seen the evolution. What?
She said, "I thought he was American because he didn't talk like this during Nightmare on Elm Street."
You really said that?
Yes, I swear to God.
And she used Nightmare on Elm Street as the baseline?
I know.
Oh my God. That's the fucking weirdest thing ever.
I wish I had more time with her because I would have gone into everything, but okay.
I think you should record it next time.
Okay, no problem.
You do it?
I'll do it. I'll do it if I can get it back on track.
See, that's your first Jump Street undercover assignment. This is how you know you could fit right in at Jump Street Chapel if you could pull this off with today's technology.
Do I get to be Tom's boyfriend?
Yes.
Girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Allergy medicine is messing me up.
You get to act with him in the next Dior commercial.
All right.
You'll be one of the wolves.
Yeah, I'll be a wolf. I'll be the CGI wolf. Okay. I'll be his guitar. All right, here we go. Oh.
No one's really into it. You know, the crowd's just kind of milling around. They're not. I would be. I would. I thought that
would you be dancing?
I would. I'd probably be like ironically mock dancing or slam dance. I'd probably jump on stage and do something weird.
You'd be trying to get.
You know what? I'd stage dive. I would stage dive. Yeah. I'd stage dive into Stephen Canal and Patrick Hasburg's stable.
You'd be the first stage diver in history. Oh. Keep playing.
My friend Mike Rubatzis, really good guitarist. He did an analyzation of Depp's guitar for me. Maybe people we know on Gunkel hear this and further comment. They said that he likes slide guitar or rockabilly, whatever that,
Yeah.
Seems like he's playing some version of like slide guitar. How many guitarists do we need up here? I say this all the time. Most of these bands have 5, 6 guitarists. How much do you? It makes you think that none of them, like half of them, aren't even plugged in. It's just a complete, facade or some kind of like.
Well, there's at least 4. There's at least 4, and then maybe a bass player.
Any band, any music nerds or people who play, why do we need 5 guitarists in these bands? I always thought it was like you got the bass, you got the lead, you got the drums and the singer, and that's it. Now I'm hearing, we need rhythm and we need.
Is this really a band? I mean, these are like dads.
I don't know.
These are like key grip dads from the set. They had nothing to do.
That's a great name for a band, the Key Grips.
They had nothing to do, so they played a little, a few strings in high school. So they're getting back up there, reliving their youth and their dreams. And
Johnny and the Key Grips.
Look at this guy. Oh, why is he holding it so high?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here comes Blowfish.
Got to get on camera.
In his sobriety with a bottle of water. Where's the booze? Somebody's trying to sing harmonies here.
Yeah, it's Saljenko.
Oh, that's Sal singing.
He had to get some attention.
USA! USA! Is this Depp guitar solo? Nope, they're not even sure.
No, of course.
How could you not give Depp the solo?
He's holding that bass guitar up to his mouth.
I want to see Wayman Tisdale play bass with this band. Oh, the June 9th. There he is. I want to see a band called the June 9th. Okay? Here's my idea.
Okay.
A band called the June 9ths. And it's all celebrities who have June 9th as his birthday. So Depp plays guitar, Wayman Tisdale plays bass, Natalie Portman sings lead, and Michael J. Fox plays the Parkinson. So Michael J. Fox plays drums. And there's another one. There's another June 9th. We'll just keep it that. That's the band. Depp, Michael J. Fox, Wayman Tisdale, and Natalie Portman.
Okay.
Right? You'd see them.
I'm in awe that you can name that many celebrities with that date of birth.
Because I spent how many years? The USA Today used to have the celebrity birthdays. And so every day you got it, it would say like the day is it. And obviously Depp's June 9th, and I'd always look, who's got the same birthday? And to my surprise, one of my favorite NBA players or total athletes in general of all time, deceased power forward Wayman Tisdale of the Indiana Pacers, Sacramento Kings, Phoenix Suns, Oklahoma Sooners, college before that. It's the same fucking birthday as Depp. Same or they have so many similarities. Both related to preachers. Depp's uncle is a preacher, and he played guitar in the band as Tisdale did for his family at church. Same birthday, same. Tisdale's a lefty.
Well, you forgot the most important part about Wayman Tisdale. The victim of one of the most savage beatdowns ever by the Portland Trail Blazers in February of 1992. I attended that game.
You got to see Wayman Tisdale?
I don't remember him.
He's on Sacramento in 1990. Yeah, he was.
I went and I don't even remember him. Doesn't that make you feel great?
Because you were fixated. The Blazers probably blew him out by 50 or something.
I had to see Jerome Kersey, and yes, they blew them out by like 47 points.
Oh my God, you got to see Wayman Tisdale in
game
Sacramento.
I got to go to. Yeah.
My God, I saw him in Indiana, but not Sacramento.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that game so I can show it to you, so you can enjoy it more than I was able to. Okay, anyway.
I better get it before you do.
You probably will. Oh, we're not done yet with this.
She's dating Jason Priestley at this time, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Or damn close to it. We've never fully verified if she dated, if we ever do a Jump Street interview, and again, I think it's very feasible, based on what I was researching in the last few days. If she indeed dated Depp, there was always rumors. It never was substantiated. Never ever verified.
I think she admits to kissing him at one time.
Well, she's in the transcript, the succubus transcripts as chicks he's. I don't know what it was a list of women he's hooked up with. Right. It was just. It wasn't even. Did you see that the master list of?
I don't remember exactly who was on it.
It was names like Naomi Campbell and
everybody
he's ever been in anything with.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet, Christina Ricci, on and on and on.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
I know.
Yay.
This is like, a band at a high school prom.
Yeah.
Ending what a horrible song selection. Of all the library. Do you think the kids played that as one of their cover night? Because they remember they played What I Like About You.
Yeah.
It's got a similar same thing, right? Same as far as quality goes. Kind of simpleton music, simpleton rock.
So
oh my God! I looked a veer away and I see fucking Mira screaming at the.
So this is like Dustin Nguyen talking about Depp and Heard, right?
Yeah. So I made various audios as tertiary or as relates to adjacent to this episode we just watched and Jump Street in general, but I wanted to be Dustin Depp centric. So this is Dustin Nguyen in modern day. I believe this thing took place a few months ago, talking about Depp and the succubus, and he kind of innuendos it, but he's talking about what he kind of feels about that now and his relationship with Depp, and gives you kind of an opinion on it.
Okay.
Check your eyesight.
How is it? How was it working with Johnny?
Terrific, man.
Yeah.
You know, Johnny, we all know what he's gone through, and I only judge people by how they are with me.
Yeah.
You know, and way back then.
And everyone should.
No, it's true.
Yes.
You know, don't believe what you read necessarily, and you know, and people have bad days sometimes, and you know, sometimes we all do. You know, you wake up wrong, and someone meets you, and you might say something that's not so friendly, and next thing you know, this person is a horrible person. You know, but Johnny, besides his immense talent, way back then, I always felt he was a real gentleman. He treats people, crew people, actors, all the same.
That's
a lot of respect.
He's not the first to say that.
Oh, it's a constant theme with Depp. If you're on the fence of who you're rooting for, and you see some super A-list star and is treating, as we just said, we made that key grip joke. The key grip, as well as he's treating Gwyneth Paltrow on Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a lot of people. I think I've heard that about Clooney. So I think you have to be from Kentucky in order to do this. So when you're setting a tone like that as an actor, that takes a lot of discipline, because your head can get so fucking enlarged and inflated and whose wouldn't? So to have some perspective and to be humble under as famous and as iconic as he's been for as many years is quite a difficult thing to pull off. And I know he's been humbled with the stuff now because he feels like the world's turned against him. Besides, on Depp heads aside, he feels like the general public sees him. And then after the UK trial, so
yeah,
the real guy. I mean, you're hearing it from how many people? This is the late 80s. Dustin Nguyen's talking about, and then you hear it in modern day. You heard it 10 years ago. You hear it 20. How much verification do you need about his character than this? Especially from someone Asian. They don't lie, and there's the morality doesn't go any higher than the Vietnamese.
We also, in a future episode, planning out some deposition episodes, but there's a video of how she treats people behind the scenes, and I'm going to play that. So that's coming up. Anyway, let's get through this.
But but the way he starts that, it kind of disturbs me, because he seems a little bothered by it. Like, say, there's a tone in his voice that says, it seems like Dustin Nguyen thinks people believe this, and he seems like he's kind of disturbed for his friend. He's almost making excuses for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, everyone's entitled to a bad day, and you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of, and which is true, but he's trying to almost put out a blanket thing of maybe he had a bad day. Because I think what he's doing, I think Dustin Nguyen saw the TMZ video of when his mother passed away and he was kicking the cabinets.
This might have been right after that, too. Right after that came out.
And he's essentially commenting on that bad day. And yes, his mother died. He lost $600 million. That's a bad day.
Yeah, we're going to cover that video, too, at some point. There's an entire episode coming on that video at some point.
An odd bird, in a good way.
He's an artist,
in a good way. And sometimes he doesn't do things that people expect him to do.
Tell us like something that we would be like, wow, we didn't know.
Oh, the original fart, man.
Whether it was right before you did a scene, did he fart? Well, what
Seriously?
anything funny?
That's what we're
Well, okay. All right. Now, how censored is this show?
No, whatever you want. Whatever you want to say.
Swear.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to swear.
Racist. It's awful.
Well, it's your fault, and now you brought it up.
Go ahead.
You said fart, right? So this is what we used to do to amuse ourselves in the back of vehicle, because when you're shooting inside a car, it's very boring.
Yeah.
In between takes, So Peter DeLuise, myself, and Johnny, and the guy, Stephen Williams, who plays our captain, he's a very serious guy. So he's sitting in the front, and he's always,
straight-laced
character.
Yeah.
So we figure a way to try to crack him up. So Peter, he's a big guy, so when he farts, it's a certain volume there. So we would light it.
Oh God! In the car?
In the car, he would basically get in a certain position behind Stephen Williams.
Wow.
And then
Do we have tape of this?
And
I want to roll tape on
and
it.
Johnny and I would get the match ready, and we would go, "You ready, Peter?" And then Stephen, and then Stephen, trying to focus for the next take, and he turns around, and we would light it, and Peter would let one out, and it was just like napalm,
Wow.
And I'm telling you, this guy is incredible, Stephen Williams.
Didn't break.
Didn't break. He looks at us, he turns back, and he just stays there, right?
Wow.
And we all were just like, and of course, I'm putting out the fire because it's like singeing Peter's jeans.
Wow, I had no idea.
You made you say wow.
See?
Johnny.
I'm surprised you're not asking about VIP with
Johnny.
Pamela Anderson.
Oh.
Okay.
VIP always comes up.
Mm-hmm.
It's always right after. That's your favorite show.
No.
The original Fart Man, right? I mean,
It's interesting. You got to be careful though when you're lighting flames around hair product on the Stephen Williams. You never know, like in a small car.
You talking about relaxer?
Yeah, no, never. I whatever he
How
is
about
using
Depp's,
on those locks.
How about Depp's Johnny Suede Aquanet he was wearing back then?
Oh my God.
The whole show is about hair product. That whole fucking car is one big mushroom cloud of alcohol hairspray of what's the stuff that goes in the ozone?
Carcinogens and
Yes.
I don't think I'm saying the right word. Whatever, toxins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Where are we at with this?
He is an amazing talent, and it.
You want to keep going here?
Okay, this. This is just him, Dustin Nguyen commenting on Depp in a different way. Another strange, I should say, from the podcast Hardcore Graveyard. Who the guy, the Corey, the host is huge. We gotta see if we can get this guy on and drill him on what he knows and what he's had on Greco and Stephen Williams and Dustin Nguyen. So it makes me think they're available if we work hard enough, if we romance and persist. And this is from this podcast. Yeah. So compliments to Corey from Hardcore Graveyard who landed Dustin Nguyen.
I'll put a link to his channel, remind me, in the description of the video.
And I was there from the beginning. I adore Johnny. I don't see him anymore. Once in a while, there was a period where every 3 or 4 years we would run into each other at film festivals where I had one of my movies there and he has one of his movies. I think the last time I saw him, years ago at the Toronto International Film Festival, I had a drama that I did called Little Fish, when I did with Kate Blanchett, and it was very well received film. And Johnny had another movie, I think one of his Tim Burton films, and we ran into each other, and it was just like yesterday. Nothing changed. And so I've always had fond memories and fond thoughts of him, but his talent was very apparent, from the very beginning, and I think he felt that's part of the reason he felt very limited on a TV show like 21 Jump Street.
How did VIP come about?
Okay, let's stop for that. Couple things. He mentions the Toronto Film Festival. Do you remember from one of the Succubus transcripts that one of their fights,
that's
one of their
an
major
incident.
fights took place? It's an incident. It's one of the 14 incidents, right?
It's a rumored fight caught on audio that hasn't been released yet, and it's going to be released during the trial. Apparently, this is probably going to be a nail in her coffin in terms of this case.
I think that's the same time.
But that's why
think what Dustin Nguyen's talking about, that film festival, I think that's from that fight, and I think he was promoting like
Dark Shadows or something.
Okay, that's very
something.
possible.
Or could have been seen in like an independent film she did or something.
Yeah, of course. They apparently on the plane ride over, and this is going to be in the trial.
Adderall Diaries, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That was something I could be right in that time. I gotta cross-reference it.
But apparently on the plane ride over, she freaks out and decides she is going to open up the door on the plane as it's in the air and jump out, meanwhile killing everybody else because he did something she didn't like. Not violent, nothing violent toward her. He may have looked at her wrong or said no to her about something, and she flipped out. That's not apparently what's on audio, but there are witnesses to that. The incident with the audio is they were going through this. They were speaking with a counselor about their marriage. The counselor advised, or psychiatrist, whoever they were seeing, advised that they start recording each
therapist, family therapist.
Therapist, better, much better. Advised for both of them to record their conversation so they could go back and listen to them later.
Yep.
This Toronto fight, knockdown, drag out, one-sided Toronto fight apparently is audio. So I cannot wait to hear that.
I can't either. See, I wish Depp used his clout. Here's where I think I've always wished for them to reunite the cast members and in another movie, not even a Jump Street movie, just some other. He would use his clout. Say, my friend Dustin would be great for this. And in Pirates, they used Chow Yun Fat for the Asian pirate. I can't remember what like the name of his character was. I would have pushed for Dustin Nguyen.
Yeah.
I would have said, screw Chow Yun Fat, screw Jackie Chan. Let's bring it. Dustin Nguyen is every bit the martial artist these guys are. He's more charisma. Let's throw Dustin in a major American feature. How great would that be if they were reunited for that?
I doubt he tried, but maybe he tried. And maybe he was told no. Who knows? But yeah, that would have been a good idea.
I'm going to assume he tried. But I think he has enough clout with Bruckheimer. He was running.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? You know the stuff he pulled on that fifth movie, how late he was. He cost that production millions of dollars. You don't think he could have Dustin Nguyen cast in a heartbeat if he wanted to?
Yeah, he probably could have.
Come on.
All right, so what is this? This is Stephen Williams discussing Depp.
Oh, nice picture. You throw up a that's from the Ioki featured episode where he's falsely accused of date rape when he's in with one of the students that he supposedly went undercover with, and she falsely accused him because she didn't want to admit to the teacher impregnating her. And that's Hansen and Fuller showing up at the teacher's house to interrogate him.
What's the episode number?
Mr. Sales. S2E 15.
My goodness.
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
You're a genius. All right.
I don't know. I could be way wrong.
I would bet you're right. Okay.
He was quite an interesting, to jump back to him, young man. You know, when I first started doing the show, I was doing, I think, 3 shows at once. That first week, I was doing 3 different episodes because they replaced, I replaced Frederick Forrest.
Yes.
As the captain.
He died in a
So
drunk
they
driving car
reshot.
wreck.
Huh?
He died in a car wreck from a.
So we've talked about Frederick Forrest. We've talked about Frederick Forrest during this a few times, but let me just say, I didn't add this to it, but this is something I just discovered as well. You know the dueling Brandos they do in the beginning of this episode.
Yep.
You don't understand. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am. The Frederick Forrest was in Apocalypse Now with Brando. And so when Frederick Forrest was on Jump Street, all the actors would gather around him and do Brando impressions and ask him about stories from Apocalypse Now. That's how that started. But Fuller is in that. Obviously, Frederick Forrest isn't in that episode. Stephen Williams is.
Mm-hmm.
So that was supposed to be, what would have been Frederick Forrest. He inspired that whole Brando circle jerk they did.
Mm-hmm.
Drunk driver. Yeah. They wrote his ass off fast.
Yeah, well, Frederick was a feature film actor, and that was the conflict. Frederick didn't quite understand television, that you had to bring it in 7 days. You know, that you couldn't be changing everything all the time.
Never heard this until now.
Because of the commercials. So him and the producers had a, you know, parting of the ways. But
never explained
reshot
Mm-hmm.
2 of his episodes, right?
Thank you.
They just reshot the 2 episodes he did. They brought me in to reshoot those 2. And I was doing my first episode. So I'm doing 3 episodes at the same time in my first week. So everybody's watching the old veteran, and I'm kicking ass. I'm good. Just put it that way. I think I'm good.
Well, you yelled.
I was the guy everybody was watching the first season. I said it to say, the second season, I was watching Johnny.
That's nice.
Because Johnny was doing such interesting things. He was doing stuff. Here's the one point I've always made about him and his character.
Stop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
We say this in the beginning. We talk about what he's about to. So he verifies what we said. I love this. I love what he's about to say because he basically verifies what we. But I got that from him. But he reiterates this in a different way here. He's about to say.
All right.
I love this.
He's playing an undercover cop. So Johnny would come in some mornings dressed as like an Indian Swami or something. You know, something totally ridiculous. And they'd go, no, Johnny, you can't. Said, why not? I'm undercover. I mean, he had the right idea. If you're playing an undercover cop, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But they wanted him to be this teen idol. And that's what Johnny was fighting all the time. He said, I'm not this goddamn pretty boy teen idol that you want me to be. I'm playing an undercover cop. So anything I do can be considered cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything I do is correct for my character. So it was fascinating to watch him come up. And I think that's where he got his, you know, that's where that movie career thing started, because he always did oddball-ass characters in his movie. And I think he was absolutely correct in his approach to his character. You know, I'm playing an undercover cop at this particular high school, so I'm going to go in as a, you know, black man. I mean, you know, that's exaggerating, but that's how far he would take the shit sometimes. And it was, you know, it was totally reasonable as far as I was concerned. So that was an interesting thing to watch too. So like I said, I was watching him from the second season on. I was watching him because he was so interesting, you know, and what he was doing was so interesting.
That was an amazing summation of what undercover acting should be, what that role should have been. If Fox playing to the teenage girls, they didn't want to get him, you know, the bopper and tiger beat, that look and the floppy hair. So he's fighting against it. And I guess you'd just be miserable all the time when you're not allowed to, you know, they're putting you in the same. He's absolutely right. I mean, but Stephen Williams does an amazing job there of bragging and then being self-deprecating 2 seconds later in the same sentence somehow.
Yeah, that's my first time hearing this, so I knew you were cutting all this stuff, but I haven't listened to it yet. But
fascinating, right?
Good stuff. It's very good stuff.
This is all for the Jump Street documentary that Netflix has never done, that never did when it had a chance.
I'm hiring you to produce this and call in all the actors, and only you can get Johnny Depp. If not, you will be impersonating Johnny Depp. Yeah, exactly. So we have one more, right?
Again, that's a phenomenal, prophetic, progressive, intelligence and fierce integrity that Depp had way back then, wanting to do it the hard way, essentially. The easy way is to just be yourself, to just play versions of yourself. But they did. I mean, he did on that show occasionally. He would often try to slip it. He'd play a nerd. He'd play a jock. He'd play not him. But they only let him go so far.
Yeah. So we have one more, right? Is still Stephen Williams?
Is this Stephen Williams?
Yeah, I believe. Okay,
yeah. This is Stephen Williams talking about very briefly about the episode we just watched, Christmas in Saigon, about that it's Dustin Nguyen's story.
Okay.
Dustin, incredible young man. I got to talk about these guys now, real briefly.
Dustin, real
incredible
quick,
young man, because he came from a movie world in Vietnam. One of our episodes was about him and his story. His parents and he literally escaped from Vietnam during that, I think it was 1975.
Yep, it was the
we've seen those iconic
Christmas in
news stories, the
Saigon
helicopters.
episode.
What?
It was the Christmas in Saigon episode. I forgot to say, I talked to him too, and he had complimentary things to say about you as well.
Oh yeah, I had met Holly early on. I met Holly when she was like 12 years old. I did a movie called Dummy in Chicago, the true story of the Donald Lane story, a murder case with a deaf and dumb guy, starring LeVar Burton. And I played LeVar's brother. LeVar and I played brothers, and Holly played our little sister. Dustin, incredible young man. I got to talk about these guys now, real briefly.
Dustin, real
incredible
quick,
young man, because he came from a movie.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. So I wanted to, even though it's very expansive, him talking about the show there's so much in there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I got to compliment that guy, Hardcore Graveyard, Corey from Hardcore, because there's Jump Street expansive interviews are lacking, and he gets them. And I think when I didn't listen to the whole thing yet, but he talks about Jump Street at least a half hour.
Okay.
And he getting a lot of dirt that's never been on any DVD or commentary, or whatever, or article I've ever read. So that was great.
Well, good stuff pulled by you. So those are the extras we've got to go along with that. Yeah, always. But those
one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It just hit me on the episode we watched. Mindy Cohn was a very big network TV star on Facts of Life.
Yeah,
playing Natalie Green. She's good on the show too. It's obviously a Different Strokes spinoff. How do you think she's basically playing a bit part here on Fox? She has very few speaking lines. She's just kind of there. Isn't that kind of strange? She's bigger than all of them at that point as far as TV goes. And it's like not even.
Maybe she knew somebody. I don't know. I don't know why she would be on 21 Jump Street. Maybe she was doing as a favor. Maybe she was friends with somebody on the cast. I don't know.
It's weird, right? I mean, it's not a full-blown promoted guest star spot.
Yeah.
It's a glorified cameo. And I think she's in 2 or 3, maybe 3 episodes, but never more than like 90 seconds.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
She's a big star on network.
I don't know if she maybe had problems on Facts of Life, hated it, and wanted to branch out. I don't know. I don't know enough about Facts of Life behind the scenes.
I know one thing about Facts of Life, and we got to go. Greco is on there. Greco, they do an episode where Natalie moves to New York, and she has several roommates.
Yeah.
And two of her roommates are Greco and David Spade.
Oh God. Okay.
And when I saw this like 3 years ago on some weird channel in Long Island, and basically Greco is playing Joey Tribbiani on Friends before Joey was ever and doing a better job of it, I might add. He's actually funny in it, likable, and a better Joey than Matt LeBlanc is.
Good for him. Good for all of them.
And I will tell him that
out.
when we get him on. I will tell him so when we get him on. Okay.
I have Booker questions for him, so we'll get to that.
We gotta watch. Booker's definitely going to be. I don't know how we into a Depp cast. I don't know how we. I guess we could maybe do. I don't know how we do it. I guess we just do like one blanket. I don't know how we do it to end the Jump Street series. Maybe just do a collective Depp Greco episode.
Yep. We
play the Dennis Miller Saturday Night Live thing where he comes on and goes, Depp Greco, Depp Greco. You know what? These kids are hot.
We'll figure it out. We've got some good stuff coming. But do you have any words
I
to
have
wrap this
some.
up?
Yeah, I have some comments.
Okay.
From people we know.
Oh,
from
okay.
people we get.
Comments
My
from
eyes are
video?
terrible, God.
Are these
Okay.
episode comments?
Pardon me, my freaking contact lenses are bugging out.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so blind. Okay, so this is from David the violinist. And he writes, this is commenting on the Viper Room episode.
Okay.
I actually have to pull it further away from my face to read it.
Okay.
Whatever that is, nearsighted, farsighted.
I don't know.
I never could get that straight. So David the violinist about the Viper Room writes, I was like 19 years old when I played cello for some rando band at the Viper Room in 2008. And I waited near the sidewalk area where River Phoenix died before the set. Since I was underage, other than that, I don't have the clearest memories of it. I played at the Roxy and Whiskey A Go-Go more, but I do remember knowing the basics of the history of the Viper Room and feeling like I was in a haunted house when I was there. Really strange place. Great show, by the way. Thank you. David. If we do, and I think we will, a third Viper Room episode, we'd love to have you on.
At least a mini episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a few more things that we just found, of course, after we were done with part 2.
I love cello at the Viper Room.
Mm-hmm.
How great is that? And then our friend Kylo Sierra Alpha, who comments a lot on the Gunk thread. Great commenter. And Gunk stalwart writes, hey, Sarah. You and John are another great episode. I ended up talking to a friend about the Viper Room because he lived in LA in the 90s. And while he wasn't in the Sunstrip scene, he mentioned that he knows a guy who was. The guy you need to talk to is Jimmy Jean. And he also does a radio show podcast called The Microcosm. And you can find it here on YouTube. He used to be a regular at the Central, later the Viper Room, and was a musician and actor at the time. He met Depp numerous times too, and he knows many, many people who visited the Viper Room from that time. From what I've been told, Jimmy is quite a character and into the psychedelic scene. You should definitely talk to him. He has a Twitter and a Facebook, and you can't contact him through YouTube. I heard some of Jimmy's stories from a friend, but it's better if you hear it from him first. If you end up talking to him, I was told by the friend to also ask him about Dennis Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper has a weird connection to Depp. I'm not sure, but they're in there's a documentary they did on the Beat Poets called The Source. So Depp plays Jack Kerouac. Dennis Hopper plays John Turturro plays Allen Ginsberg, and Dennis Hopper is the third one. And they all read works from the writer.
Okay.
So Dennis Hopper seems so connected to everybody in Hollywood. And you write him back, I think. Very cool, Kylo. We have found a few other things buried deep on YouTube at the place. We have a mini part 3 coming up. Glad you liked it. Okay, so then Fudsicle loves. Remember we talked about Crystal Light?
The
iced tea. It's Arm. I can't believe you mentioned Crystal Light. I love iced tea. I love that iced tea. I live on that stuff. Teyuva, I know that. Tejava. Super strong black tea that has tons of ice, and it's the Cadillacs of iced tea. I don't drink soda except for mix. So iced tea is my go-to. Crystal Light has many other flavors too. And then you write back, no ice indeed. Melon flavored drink mix at Walmart. I can't get enough. I drink it at room temperature. I drink it you sound like an automaton. I drink it at room temperature. This is, of course, not Arm saying this as he would throw a human aside to rescue a piece of ice from a pool.
I apparently type as I speak, so thank you.
And then our buddy Pablo Papano comments on David Kep. So he writes, Depp worked with that hack Eskimo screenwriter, director of Mordecai and Secret Window. That's David Koepp. He may have chosen Mordecai based on his relationship with Koepp. Also, Wes Anderson films usually aren't big hits like the Grand Budapest Hotel, which we talked about. So I write him back and I say, hey, Pablo, I think we may have blurbed this in a past episode, and it's David Koepp you speak of. He wrote the screenplay for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and went on to direct both Mordecai and Secret Window before that. Deppetism and cronyism is Hollywood's most consistent attribute, from Tim Burton to Gore Verbinski to Paul Bettany. Grand Budapest Hotel saga with Depp and his ex-agent Tracy Jacobs is a fascinating peek behind the fourth wall of script choosing and cash grabs in Hollywood. We're going to cover that next episode. The film went on to defy all Wes Anderson box office figures, beating Mordecai and Transcendence easily, and Depp whiffed hard at turning that down, as well as dismissing it as an independent mosquito film that wouldn't make any money. By the way, I love you in the Radio Gunk chats. You have A+ comments, and I wish we had time to read them all.
Great comments.
Yeah, I like that. So should I try to look at what's the other one? Was it from this one? No, we read that. How about, let me see. Okay, so Pablo writes me again. Let's read the second one. I like this exchange. Pablo writes, Depp was the best part of Lone Ranger, which is really the ultimate compliment you can give an actor, right? I hated the movie, but his performance was bigger than the movie, and it made all I could do was watch him. Isn't that the ultimate compliment you can give an actor? That the movie sucked or you care less about the movie, but the performance was bigger than the movie.
That's exactly my experience watching that movie as well.
Yeah. His Tonto is it could have been a month, so I'll get into that. I think I read about it. It had some really good stuff going for it, I thought, and it had the same director as Pirates. Yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer producing. It was too dark and too long, and the Lone Ranger was not
way
heroic.
too long.
And the actual Lone Ranger was not heroic at all. It's Armie Hammer. Blame him. He has no business being the lead. No matter how good looking and strapping he is, does not mean he has the charisma to pull that off. Yeah, it's just an average.
He's a bowl of mashed
himbo.
potatoes. I get nothing from him.
He had that crazy scandal recently too with the stupid Instagram stuff. Did you read about that?
No,
some morbid fetish he has, and it ran wild.
Oh, it's like cannibalism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't want to follow it, and the movie cost too much to be dark, and it's Disney. Too much ego on the director's part, and so then I write him back. Totally true, Pablo. Depp was everything good about, and the only thing good about that movie, which is the ultimate compliment you can pay an actor, much like Whitey Bulger although I like Black Mass as a whole, but he's almost bigger than the movie. A lot of people say that he's bigger than the movie.
Yeah.
And Depp teams with director Gore Verbinski once again. Pirates, Lone Ranger, Rango, and he teams with him way too much. Just like Tim Burton, he needs to get away from that. But it's wasted on an antiquated concept in Lone Ranger and very, very tired Western genre. And I write after this. Oh, I go on, huh? Jeez, drunken YouTube comments. Wow, this is a manifesto here. It's an armifest. That bloated budget could have and should have gone to an obscure Marvel property, like maybe Doctor Strange. Depp should have been Doctor Strange, and it came out around that time before Benedict Cumberbatch owned the role. Depp could have franchised it out during Marvel's quiet period in 2013. Disney owns Marvel, and that could have been Depp's portal to finally see him in a Marvel or DC film, which I've always wanted. He's been rumored for years to be casting these things, and it never comes to fruition. And now it's too late. I feel Depp's current film vision has gone senile and slightly out of touch with what a good script is, which I feared would happen when he humble brags about not knowing what the current film slate is and what's going on in Hollywood. In order to be original, you have to know what's been made and to not make it again and what doesn't work.
Very good.
Yeah, I feel he needs to be more tapped into the Hollywood movie pipeline in order to choose a script, because I think he's been insulated too much by his lemmings around him that won't tell him no, and that's a bad decision. Someone's got to tell him that's a bad decision. That's a no. That's been done. That won't work. No matter how prophetic he seemed to be, we all have blind spots and senility, and the last decade has exposed a bunch of them. And there need to be somebody, some kind of script police to tell him no. And I think I'm the man for the job.
I agree with that, absolutely. But I think we are in for we got to finish this era of independent films.
Another independent renaissance, a reawakening of his 90s.
I think we're in for a bit of that still. So until
Depp heads, unless you think that it's some catastrophe that he won't be in the next Pirates or Disney, they're doing him a favor. They're doing it, getting him off that redundant train, and it's gonna. I want him to do a TV series. I'm watching something right now called The Mayor of Kingstown, which stars Jeremy Renner, which I'm enjoying, and it's a gritty crime drama. And that's what I really want him to do. I want him to do a streaming service crime genre in long form. That's what I want.
I would love that. I would love him to do even a 10-episode Netflix show where he is in the mob or he is a detective, whatever.
You could do Donnie Brasco again. You could do Donnie Brasco again. Donnie Brasco could be a mini series.
He could be Donnie Brasco today. Joe, he could.
Joe Pistone.
Yeah.
When I watch Mayor of Kingstown, I keep picturing Depp in the Jeremy Renner role, and I go, that's what I want, because it bears some similarities to City of Lies. The Mayor of Kingstown is basically if you took The Wire and put it together with Oz. It's that. That's what you get.
Now I'm interested. I love Oz. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up, because this was an hour and a half over a 20-minute video. So do you have anything else to say before I end it?
And have yourself a merry Ioki now.
I second that. Happy holidays, everybody. We are single digits away from being at 500. And we promised a live show when we get to 500, which we will do very soon. But we'll give you plenty of warning and invite before that happens.
Listen to the Radio Gunk year-end podcast, which I believe drops Saturday the 18th. Oh, and I should say, just broke, Johnny V. Amber on Disney Plus debuts apparently, I think, midnight December 18th. I think both parts 1 and 2, and I was bitching about they never released. It's just like, hey, it's on now. They never advance. Aren't you supposed to promote the date at least a week in advance? You don't say it the day before. What a bizarre world we live in now.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just blurted out onto the public like.
We'll see how one-sided this Elon Musk production is.
My fear is not only the Elon Musk element, is that apparently Disney Plus is Discovery Plus is a Warner Brothers subsidiary who he just got fired from.
Yep. So we'll see how this goes.
And what does Warner Brothers do? Aquaman 2.
The Justice for Johnny Depp hashtag will be on fire over the next few days. So the women on the Johnny Depp wives on Twitter will be going crazy. So
we might have to do that as our next episode too. Call an audible.
Maybe.
Call Bob Greasy audible. I mean, how are we going to not if that comes out?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the narrative on this special is. So
I can't wait.
Anyway, we'll be doing a live show soon. Like I said before, plenty of notice will be given. I also want to say happy holidays and thank you for the wonderful feedback we are getting on this show.
Great job on the videos, Liz Cheney, and great job with the insurrection in Congress. You're really killing it.
Thank you so much. I had a pithy name for you, and it left my head.
I couldn't admire you more for breaking off the Republican Party and being a truth teller, you and Adam Kinzinger.
Yeah, well, no problem. I'll call you. You are the Stephen Colbert of.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. You love that man for some reason, but anyway.
I love him as a sketch actor. He was a great sketch actor on the Dana Carvey show, and he does the voice of Ace and Gary, the ambiguous gay duo.
Mm-hmm. I'm done.
I like Colbert.
Oh, good for you. Okay, so.
Oh, good for you.
We'll leave it there. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy holidays again. Be happy this year is almost over. Maybe we can hit the reset button next year, but we say that every year. So good luck.
Go Browns.